can I put a damn poll? There we go. There we go. What's good, y'all? What's good? Oh shit, that ain't what I want to do. What's up? Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What's up? What's up? I got I got I'm using my rotating thing. Happy winning as Wednesday, y'all. WIN. Happy win Wednesday. Um, what's up? What's up? Shalom, shalom, peace. So I want to get right into this because I have so many in the same realm ideas on my mind. So let's just get right into it, starting with a prayer. You already know. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Heavenly Father, we ask that you protect everyone on this live and who watches the replay. We are come together on this live as believers, believers in belief, believers in faith, believers in knowing that what we think is the reality. So we are very cautious about what we think. We are very cautious about the words that we speak. We know the power of I am. Heavenly Father, I ask that you just fulfill everyone's heart on this live and in the replay with abundance and remove any fears, any doubts, any notions of lack. We do not live in a realm of lack. We are creators and we can create whatever it is with abundance. And that's what we're here for today, to discuss these ideas, Heavenly Father. And we pray all these things in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. 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 What's good, y'all? Happy winning ass Wednesday. So, y'all don't know me, but let me tell you, I shared a little bit on my community page. So in 2020, well, first of all, going back, I've been in the fashion and beauty industry for over 10 years. I was a makeup artist, a licensed cosmetology. I've done photo shoots, runway shows, model portfolio building, all of that, right? I did the hair, the makeup, and the wardrobe styling, the creative direction, all of that, right? So that is my wheelhouse, one of my wheelhouses, but that is what I love. I also went to fashion design school, fashion design, clothing design, crochet design. But when it comes to clothing, fashion design is my first love, and makeup is my second first love. So that's where that goes. All right. So in 2020, shortly after I moved to LA, I launched a lash brand. And this was right before the world shut down. All right. So I did the testing. I tested out a few different manufacturers. I went on Alibaba. And so I finally decided on the lash manufacturer that I liked. They had really, really nice lashes. They fit what I was looking for. It was beautiful. The packaging was beautiful. It was all great. I didn't know anything about vending machines other than food and snacks and beverages and stuff like that. You know what the traditional. So I hustled my lashes, um, and that was pretty much just that. At the time, I was co-living at a house in LA. It was advertised as an artist house, so I thought I was going to be there with other artists. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I was paying rent, $650 a month for the room that I was in. It was a shared room. The whole house was shared, right? So all the rooms was shared. So you had the female only rooms and then the men's rooms. So that was my living situation. And so at some point, the money that I was making from both my lashes when I sold all of those and sold out, my crochet work, and my epoxy resin rolling trays and the freehand sculptures that I was making, all that at like some of it I was able to put back into the business to keep more epoxy going. Like epoxy resin is very expensive, and then when the world shut down, like I wasn't able to reorder more lashes because nothing was coming out of China. Even into 2021, when I had got the mansion, there were still ships sitting on the Pacific Ocean. Like I was at Huntington Beach. Wait, I'm over here, baby. Sorry, that was just my hand. That was just my hand. I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm right here. Yeah, I'm right here. I'm still right here. I didn't mean to throw you off. I'm gonna have to turn this off. Let me turn that off. So anyway, 2021, the container ships was still on the Pacific Ocean, not moving. Do you hear me? So last night, now I have always had the idea to relaunch my lash brand. I've always had that idea. Um, it was never a thought that I was just going to leave it at that and not relaunch that. So last night, I don't know how the hell it came across. It's just the vibration that I'm on, the frequency that I'm on, bringing all this stuff to me. I saw eyelash vending machines. I did not know that was a thing. So I'm seeing these eyelash vending machines. So of course I start going down a rabbit hole. Like I was up late going down the rabbit hole. Then I went on Alibaba because I'm like, okay, well let me see what they run it for, and just the different manufacturers, the different styles, the different varieties, and yada yada yada. Now, also in 2021, now this was after my lash business was gone. So, what I'm discussing is vending machines and vending machine ideas as far as non traditional, right? So, one of the ideas that I had now from 2021, I started investing with Derek Grace. This was when he was still teaching, and you was still like I was able to talk to him directly, ask him some questions directly. He answered me directly on Zoom when he was still doing that. So this was in 2021. I had made that investment, and that's how I ended up because I bought a couple of his robots. I got 3 Derek Grace in-home baking board games. So on one of the Zoom classes, he had a guy, I don't remember where he's from. Um, But he had a dude who was into drones, and he was teaching. He was teaching people on getting certified on drones. Now, I haven't been able to find that dude again since then, but he helped people get certified in flying drones. So I thought that was dope because that's something that I had already thought about. Now, when I was in Arizona, one of the ladies that I met there, she hired me to do her makeup. She was having a photo shoot for, it was a pregnancy photo shoot. So one of the guys there that was in the crew that I was in, he did he did photography, videography, and he also had a drone. Now this is back in 2018. So that was in the front of my mind with the drones. Nope, 2017. This was in 2017, maybe early 2018. So when in 2021, when Derek Grace brought him in, I was like, oh, this is perfect because it's still a wide open market. Like drones are still not tapped into, but it's wide open as far as there's one person I heard of that does real estate photography with drones. Like there's so many things that you can do if you have a drone and you want to create a business with that, even using the drone to take shots, to take photos like in attics and crawl spaces and different things like that. It's just a wide open market. It's still not even tapped into, much less saturated. It's probably going to be another decade before drones are really, really, really tapped into. So last night, I'm like, oh, what if I could put drones in a vending machine? Because here's the thing, I started researching drones on Alibaba back in 2021, even up to just a few months ago. I'm always going back and forth looking at drones. So I can get them from now. I always buy samples of whatever I do on Alibaba. I always test out a few different manufacturers and buy a few different samples before I decide to go with whatever manufacturer I'm going to go with. I always do that. But getting them directly from the manufacturer is, it's a huge price range that you can go with depending on the quality you want to start off with. But if I wanted to get a drone for, let's say, somewhere between 30 and $80, or let's just go up to $100, then that still leaves me a great markup to price them way under market in the vending machine. To have a vending machine of drones ranging from 300 to $500 in the vending machine. You know what I mean? And then you get the vending machine that has the elevate that lifts up and gets the item instead of the one that just drops the whole thing. So I was thinking about that because again, when you're getting the vending machine directly from the manufacturer, you can customize it, the size for whatever you want. So that's something that I was thinking about. Now, with the lashes, it would be a whole beauty thing, right? So I'm just going over different ideas because this is something that I really want to get into. Now that I know the vending machine market is more than just snacks and drinks, I'm just like, and then I was looking into non-traditional vending machines. Like there's all kind of vending machines, but I want to go the non-food route, right? I don't want to get into food because there's pizza and burgers and all kind of vending machines that you can go into. But I definitely don't want to go into food. I don't want to get into that. Um, but these are a couple of the ideas that I'm having. And then you can do. I saw recently you can somebody, or maybe I heard it, but you can do like personal protection equipment, small things, and like it's just a whole array of things that you can put inside vending machines and just brand a business in vending machines, and put them in whatever prime locations And so I don't know about anybody else, but this is something that I'm going to do some serious, serious research into. And while I'm stacking capital, um, these are going to be some. Hi there.
Hey, how's it going?
Excellent. How are
Good.
you?
I love your setup here.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It is. You see
Yeah.
all my plants?
Yeah.
I
Wow.
got a bunch of plants
I
and
like it. I like it. That's really cool.
everything is
Are
storage.
you able to stay cool?
I am.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I love it. I love it. Do they make you move around a lot?
Well, who is they?
Yeah, I'm just in general. Are you able to
No.
park and stay and be
Y-
where you need to be and
yeah.
yeah, take care
Yeah.
of yourself?
Because I think it's because how I live,
Uh-huh.
you
Okay.
know, like
Good. What's your name?
Shalanda.
Shalanda, I'm Bill.
Nice to meet you, Bill.
Pleasure. Yeah, my
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm sorry. Am I interrupting?
No, of course
No, no,
not.
no. Okay.
No, we're very welcoming
Yeah,
in here.
cool. Well, I saw you. I thought I gotta go check this out.
Right.
Yeah,
Isn't it
yeah.
nice?
Are you good?
I am.
You are good.
I
Okay.
mean,
Uh-huh. You
I'm
got
not
you,
a complainer
you got
and
what
I'm
you
not a
need.
finger pointer.
You got what you need.
I do, and
Uh
I'm
huh.
work like I'm discussing just business ideas
Oh, good.
with my people on live. I just
Okay.
had a whole realm of
Stuff, huh?
non-traditional vending machine ideas open up. So I'm like,
Interesting. Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, I just wanted to leave you with a little something.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
yeah, yeah. In case
you.
that might
I
help.
appreciate it. It
Yeah. Would that
definitely
help?
will. Yes.
Okay.
Thank
Good, good.
you.
It's Chandra.
Shalanda.
Shalanda.
Like
Excuse me.
Yolanda.
Okay, Shalanda.
Yes.
Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, Bill.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
you're
And
welcome.
God bless you. I
And and
appreciate
you.
it.
I look forward to seeing you around. Shalanda.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Have a good evening, Bill. Gas money. That's awesome. That's so dope. So anyway, y'all, um, see, a couple of people have experienced like people really just and people don't always just come up and give me, a couple of dollars, but people always because it looks so good in here. Like it just looks so comfortable and it's just I don't know. I think it's just the way that I live and look so comfortable. And you see, well, he wasn't in the camera shot, but he just kept looking in here because it's like, wow. And then it's wide open space. So it's really comfortable in here. I look forward to meeting some of y'all so that y'all can actually see Le Chateau in person because it's really, really, really comfortable in here. And if you were on last night's live where I cleared out the front seat, I love that. I love having that front seat cleared out. So, anyway, let me get back on topic. God bless you, Bill. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Um, Instead of struggling, let me just look at it here because y'all know I can't see. Hey, Art, I just got here. Hello. Let's see. Um, what you want to see? So yeah, we're just this. Did I turn it off or no? See, it looks really comfortable in here. It looks really comfortable. So Bill just came and he was right there at the door and he was peeking in and was like, yeah, yeah. It looks really good in here. And then so I cleared out my seat. So that is all clear. I love it. I love it. I love having that all cleared out. Love that. Very, very cozy, very comfy. I'm telling you. And when people see it in person, it's just, and then, oh, see, what is the name of that place? Amazon. They got to do better with my investment dollars. They got to do better. All this little stuff just keeps breaking. Anyway, what I was trying to show y'all is, see my rug. That black right there, that is from when I barbecued for my 1 year anniversary of being in Le Château. I was at the barbecue grill and I used my cast iron skillet, not realizing it was full of soot afterwards. And then I just dropped it down in here until I climbed in here and put it in there where it belongs. So that's what that is, all on my rug, making it look yucky. But anyway, this thing here, I'm not okay with that, Amazon. Okay. All right. So back to the topic at hand. Um, so yes, now that I know about all these different vending machine ideas, um, these are the two. Oh, here's another one I was just thinking about that just again when I was doing this research on YouTube just a little while ago that just came across me. A pet snacks or pet food. Now, I don't have a pet. I'm not a cat person at all, but cats would be included. I do love dogs. I don't touch people's dogs though. But anyway, I'm just real particular, and I'm real particular about hygiene and whatever. So anyway, I was like, that would be dope. Now, here's my thing when it comes to pets, both cats and dogs. But again, I may just be on dogs because I do love dogs. Now, I genuinely and thoroughly believe that dogs um, should be eating, all dogs should be eating raw food. I think that, and I love that there are raw food dog manufacturers out there. Like you see it even in the grocery stores, you see their fridge, the dog food and the cat food little refrigerators with their meats in there. That's how they should be eating that kibble nonsense and all this artificial nonsense talking about made with real chicken and beef. Who knows? Who knows? But they need to have, I believe they should eat real actual raw food because that is what they're meant to eat. That's what they eat. That's what they should eat, you know? So you know how some of the vending machines can be cold packed and refrigerated, and I was like, that would be a great idea to have a raw food, uh, pet snack, pet food vending machine. And I immediately just start thinking about a couple of different areas, like what is it called, the nature preserve up the street. So they do have a center inside. And I was like, oh, that would be a great place for something like that. Because there are dogs all the way through there. Like people walk there when they walk the trail there. They have their dogs there. People walk their dogs through here. I don't know if the library will go for something like that, maybe on the outside. But anyway, I was like, that would be a great vending machine idea, especially if it's a cold food. Or I also saw, now where I saw these at were in Asia. Where I saw them in use was in Asia. Now, I do think this is something that we can adopt here in the United States. And it's also one of the vending ideas that I'm keeping in the back of my mind because I think that would be dope. Even if it's just meat snacks, but I think it would be dope to have raw food, raw dog food vending machines. And probably particularly dog foods because people, there are a lot more people out with their dogs and out and about with their dogs. I just think that would be a dope, and profitable idea. You know, it's one of those things where people wouldn't realize how much they'd use it until you supply it, you know, like the saying goes, or the adage goes, build it and they will come. Exactly. Exactly. In some instances that is the case, and I do believe that is an instance where if there was a dog food vending machine, dog food snack machine, especially with the good raw food, yeah, they would come. They would come. And if you're able to, build a good relationship with the dog food, with some of the companies that actually make these products, or if you're able to source, like maybe looking on YouTube, maybe there's a smaller company that's doing it that you can wholesale partner with, you know what I mean, yada yada yada. I just think that's a great idea. I think that's something that would be that would be good, So it's one of the ideas that I'm keeping in the back of my mind for the vending machine. So for right now, the three that I'm really mulling over in my head is the beauty, with the lashes and all the things needed for the lashes, the drones, because I really, not really want, but I am going to launch my own brand of drones. And I'm thinking the dog food. The pet biz is big. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I really, really believe that it's something, if you build it, they will come. Um, but I am doing everything different this time. So, first thing, I really want to, I've already put some things out, but I want to look for a co founder. I want to look for a co founder and see about starting that way. So, I want to look for a co founder because I just, with actual product and actual service, something that's not an online digital business, it's very, 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 very difficult with one person because it's really hard to keep reinvesting back into the company and live when it's just you, because it's also just you that has to make the sales. It's just you that has to does the promotion, the marketing. And when you're not starting from $1 million, it's very, very, very pretty much impossible, without any sort of support or anything. So my first step is I am looking for a co-founder. That's first things first. And this is absolutely the idea. And so when it comes to the beauty vending, the eyelash vending machines, definitely that's going to be in malls. I think the best thing would be, because it's easy to just get a kiosk in a mall. You know what I mean? You just pay the rent there. I think that would be the best thing. It's not so, it's still unheard of in a lot of places, but there are um, enough people, like it's it's a good avenue. It's a good business. Eyelashes and vending machines. So that'll be dope. That'll be dope. I will have to do, and then once I get a co-founder, we will have to do more research, and this is where two heads will be better than one, on where we could put the drone vending machine and the pet foods vending machine, um, especially the drone vending machine. I think that'll be quite possibly a bit more challenging to think of where it could be. Then at the same time, maybe not necessarily. Malls might be a great idea as well, like um, um, high fashion malls. You know what I mean? Malls that have, like Plaza Frontenac in St. Louis. They have Louis Vuitton store. They have Gucci stores. It's a high fashion mall. So Plaza Frontenac is not a mall you go to if you live in paycheck to paycheck. It's in Frontenac, Missouri, which is an upscale area. So that's the upscale mall. And then it would just be, like, even here in Newport Beach, what is this mall called? Fashion Island. Fashion Island, somewhere like that. I think there's another fashion something in Scottsdale, Arizona, but upscale malls might be a great place for the drone vending machine. I think that would be dope. Absolutely. So you know, uh, these are my ideas, and I'm just gonna keep my energy on as if I already have a co-founder. I think that'll be the easiest thing for me to put myself on the frequency of already having a co-founder, and then just navigate and plan everything out from the perspective of already having a co-founder, and not get on the energy of anything other than that, not get on the frequency of anything other than that, right? So um, that's that's where I'm at with it. That's exactly where I'm at. I'm also going to create a new LinkedIn page for this as well. And instead of maybe putting the ideas, I'll probably just put, the vending just overall as a whole. Um, and maybe I'll outline these three ideas just to see. But yeah, I'm gonna maneuver as if I already have a co-founder, and then just continue to go from there. So my goal, as far as capital to get started, my goal is to save $1,000 a month. That is my goal, to put away $1,000 a month towards this, whatever this next startup is going to be, to put away $1,000 a month for that. And if by the time comes, let's say by the time comes and a co-founder has not been solidified, or hasn't come to fruition yet, then I'm going to launch the first idea with um, the eyelash vending. I'm going to launch that first one with the eyelash vending. Yeah. So that'll be the first thing I do. And you know what? I don't know. Something, something in me just doesn't feel very comfortable with doing that in California. So maybe if I'm still here by the time all this needs to take place, I'll start with the pet food, because it just, in my gut, it just doesn't feel comfortable putting eyelash vending anywhere in California, anywhere, nowhere at all. So I don't think, because this isn't even a state I'm looking for that. I just don't feel comfortable about putting an eyelash vending machine in this state, anywhere in this state, no city in this state. But the dog food vending, yes, yes, and that would be safe. Like that would I don't feel any vibrations of it possibly being broken into or vandalized or anything like that. So that definitely would be great for California. That one right there would be great in California. So yeah, I'm just gonna stack capital and take it from there. Take it from there. Um, and then start. So as once I get the capital, then I will start looking for locations and reaching out to locations and getting a solid. This is where it's gonna go. So once I got that, then I will go with the. I will select a manufacturer. Now with the vending machines, no, I'm not going to be ordering samples because that's going to be thousands of dollars with the vending machine. Just with the small products, that's just a few dollars. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll pay $50, $75 for a sample drone. but I'm not going to pay $1,500 for a sample vending machine, okay? Because you can order a sample of the vending machine as well. I'm not going to do that because not only do I have to have the price of the vending machine just for one, I also need to have the shipping, which is going to be hundreds of dollars, and I need to have however much it's going to cost to customize it, you know. And so the research will be even finding the manufacturer that will allow, because it's such a high ticket item. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but I have to find the manufacturer that will allow me to customize on just one vending machine, you know. So that's all going to be another part of the legwork. But the very first thing and the most important thing is having somewhere to put it, having a solid, you can put it here, you know. And then as long as I'm just upfront with them, like, okay, cool. So I plan to have it in here in 4 months, you know, something like that. So that way they can even maneuver, do whatever it is they need to do. But, you know, push it out because it won't be a situation of, okay, I'm bringing it next week. No. So, yeah, it's definitely best to uh, lock down the location first and then get the vending machine. Hey, Quan, what's good? What's good? So that's how I'm going to do that. Happy Win Win Wednesday. Yeah, that's how I'm going to do that. That's how that's going to work. And um, yeah. And you know what? You well, again, like I said, I really need to. It really depends because depending on how long it takes me to save up enough capital, right? Then again, if I'm still in California, then it's going to be the pet food vending machine. If I'm out of California by the time I have the capital that I need, um, or heading out of California, then I'll just go to the state that I think would be a good place to launch the first one. Which here are the three states I'm thinking. Well, I'm not going back to Minnesota, but the Mall of America would be a good place. But I'm thinking, oh, and Quan, you in Florida, right? So I probably should know about Florida. Like, what upscale malls and where are upscale malls in Florida? So, yeah, I would just go to the state where I would want to launch that. Because I'm thinking Houston, like I said, Frontenac, Missouri, where Plaza Frontenac is, um, and Florida. Because already I was going to Florida when I leave California already. So now that I have these three vending ideas narrowed down, and with the beauty vending machine, you know, um, yeah, I probably should look into where some good upscale malls in Florida would be to put something like that. Yeah, because like I said, with that, it'll be my eyelash brand. It'll be what's needed for that. So the tweezers, the eyelash glue. I also would like to have like some beauty blenders in there, which I will be ordering samples of because I've, again, as a professional makeup artist, I've used beauty blenders. And so I like the Real Techniques brand. I used to be a brand ambassador for Real Techniques, but I like that brand. The original brand, which is the Beauty Blender, like that's the brand name of it. Um, but I would like to put a beauty blender in there. Maybe some, I don't even know if people still use them nowadays, but I know the oil blotting papers, those used to be big, but maybe those still would be a good idea. Orlando for sure, but there are other places, Tampa and Miami. Okay. I'm gonna Google malls, upscale malls in those cities to see what's going on. Because definitely those will be the place. And here's the thing, just like with my lash brand that I had already, I also am going to do a variety of lashes because I want to appeal to everybody, but well, you can't hit everybody, but I want to appeal to the income bracket of women who wear lashes that like that don't like them thick, heavy, lashes. And again, as a makeup artist, I like the ones with the thin band, even if they're even if they're 25 millimeters. I like them with the thin, flexible band, and I also want to have some clusters. The clusters are really, really nice, and the I want to have the multi pack of even the strip lashes. I just want to have a variety. I'm also going to do my case different this time because when I did my case originally, it appealed in person. But even in 2020 when I was cold calling, so in 2020 I also started cold calling beauty supply stores because I wanted to get my lashes in on the shelves in beauty supply stores. And as I was cold calling beauty supply stores in 2020, I was like, I don't think these are shelf stable. With the packaging that I had, it came to me that it was not shelf stable. It was not shelf stable. So I definitely would do I saw my first hair vending machine in Tampa. That's what's up. Yep, you got the hair vending machines. Yeah, absolutely. All kind of stuff. So, but I still like, that really nice packaging. Like I said, I was up late into the morning, early wee hours looking at lashes, packaging, vending machines, lash vending machines on Alibaba. So, um, I really like, you know, a nice packaging, not something plain. I don't want something plain. So, but it's going to be in a vending machine. So it definitely can't be, all the fur with the LED lights and all the stuff I had before. But I still want them to be cute. And if it's a way I'm still able to, here's what I was thinking also. If I just can't help myself. But again, this is where a co founder will come in handy because it won't just be me. It won't just be me. I'll have a co founder who also will say, well, look, Shalanda, being the voice of reason and like, but let me tell you what I was thinking. If I did go with packaging that is beautiful, but it's all enclosed, like you can't see the lashes, then I would have some way to have maybe on the front of each tray what those lashes look like, what the lashes in that line look like, you know, something like that. Just a picture of the lash, you know. So that would be an option. But again, I did see some packaging that is really cute. It's not just a plain packaging of, like, I've seen several eyelash vending machines, and, the packaging that I'm looking at is just different from that. I want something different from that. Uh, but I did see some where it does have the see-through window where you can see the lashes, but they're still unique, the packaging. So that is that's what I'm currently saving up capital for. Currently saving up capital, putting away capital for that. Like I say, my goal is to stash away $1,000 a month for that. So that'll be the first thing because it's so semi passive. Like I would just have to restock the machine and, you know what I mean? And go check on it and things like that. And it's something where if they do well enough, I can still build the business. Like I can hire someone to do that. You know what I mean? I can hire for that location. So it's it's good enough to start to where it's like I'm not like taking clients and having to go here and go there. Um, yeah, I can do it. Set the vending machine, in the location, work it, of course, get it started myself, do different promotions, just do what I know when it comes to marketing and promotion and business, and just, getting it going like that. And then once it's going, and by the time I'm ready to do another vending machine, I can hire someone to do this, to do this one at this location. Cool idea. I mentioned your live from yesterday and the wisdom you passed along to me with my mom. That's awesome. What did she say? That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, I think that would, had I known about vending machine eyelash vending machines back in 2020 when I first started my lash brand, I definitely would have did that. I definitely would have did that. It would have been a challenge because the world was shutting down, but that probably would have made it a bit easier. That probably would have made it a bit easier because I could have just put it in a kiosk of an open mall, where the essential businesses were still open. And because it's just a kiosk, it's just a vending machine. It could have, but I didn't know anything about that back then. She said, "You are spot on." And she likes the way you think. That's what's up. That's what's up. My kids don't. My own kids don't. They never listen to a damn word I've ever said. And I've been trying to get them to be entrepreneurs and just do their own thing with my help since they were 16. And now here they are, 32 and 31, just doing nothing with their lives. Nothing, literally. But maybe by the time they're 40, who knows? So I appreciate that. And also, they watched me, like, they watched me, you know, do it. They watched me work for myself. Just the whole hustle. So I watched a video today. There's a channel that I watch called Starter Story. And one of the guys that I watched, this is why I like watching entrepreneur stories and reading about entrepreneurs going back years ago, because it validates me. It lets me know that regardless of what these employees are saying and calling me names and looking at me like whatever, this is the journey. This is the journey. And he just, had all these failed things that he tried, on his own. Um, and like he said, and like I say, and like everyone who makes efforts say, it's not a failure unless you just give up and decide to just completely go back to W2 life. So he's like, all these attempts, we say failed. We say this failed, that failed, but we never stop. We never give up. But he had all these businesses that he started and they just never went anywhere. Like either he never got any customers or just my whole MO, and then in some cases you do, like with my magazine, I did get 5 people who subscribed, but my magazine, the subscription rate was like, it was $15 a year because it was a digital magazine. So, I didn't have any crazy overhead to charge any more than that. But I did with my track suits. I sold 3 of my track suits. I mean, it took months. It took months. And in between all of these things that I've done, even with my lashes, everything that I've done, um, I can say it was successful in that I was able to get sales, I was able to get customers, but I wasn't able to do it at a fast enough rate to rebuild, to reinvest and still have profits and still be able to live. At some point, I had to pivot because I need some sort of income. Like I need to live, And so just one on one, when you're just doing it on your own, that's where, if it's not a digital business, it is, it is, it's hard. It is hard. Now, if it's a digital something, yes, yes, you have online solopreneurs that are making $1 million a year, that are making $1.5 million a year, and that's where I've watched their stories too, and that's where they want to stay because it's going to increase if you want employees, but they're like, I don't want employees. This is cool, being a solopreneur. I'm bringing in $1.5 million a year, maybe um, 80,000 in profit. Who knows, whatever those numbers break down to as far as they profit. But um, I want to do more than that. I want to do more than that. I want to really impact people. I do want to employ people, and I want to help people change their lives. So I don't want to be a solopreneur. I don't want to be self-employed, and this is why I won't ever give up on trying. But this is also why at this stage I'm like, okay, let me really seek out a co-founder. Let me seek out a co-founder. More people can multiply the business. Right, right. And that's just not something that some people want. Some people just don't want that responsibility. Some people are okay, and I've seen their stories, and I can dig it. I can dig it. I really do want more than that. I want more than that. I want to impact more people than that. So for me, I do want to have employees. Um, so yeah, even just starting with this vending business, I just know from experience that it would be much smarter to launch this with a co-founder. It would be much smarter because, again, uh, two heads are better than one, especially someone who is, got who has that same gusto for entrepreneurship as I do. You know what I mean? And someone where we communicate well together, so it's not, a battle to communicate. As long as we communicate well and clearly, and we both have that passion for entrepreneurship, yeah, I'm definitely confident we can build something. We can build whatever ideas that we agree on. And that's also why with my future partner, um, he's got to have that as well because I don't want a man that's just comfortable going to work and coming back home and not just turning his brain off. I don't want that because I don't have that for me, So I don't want a man that you just want to live here in this house and just go to work, and I don't want that. But there's a woman out there for that kind of man, and there's a man out there for a woman like me, So no rush, no problem. But as far as these vending machines, that's definitely what I am going to do. And you know what? Florida might actually be a great idea. I got to look at the Florida laws, but that might also be a great place to launch um, the drone vending machine. So I had this other idea that I wanted to start. I wanted to, because again, I love the whole fashion industry. So I wanted to start a men's shoe line, an upscale men's shoe line. I had selected my manufacturer. I started working on pre-sales. Like I actually, this is another one of my ventures, right? So I had selected my shoes. I had them all for pre-orders. So I was going to be doing pre-orders. I was marketing like crazy. I even shared this idea when I was in with Derek Grace, and I shared it with the business bully when his fat ass was still 595 pounds. And his fat ass laughed at me. He laughed at me, said it was a stupid idea. Was like, you need somebody like Steve Harvey. And I'm like, see, this is the limitation. I don't care. And see, I should have known better because anybody that will call themselves any type of bully, you ain't shit. You ain't shit. And I used to beat up the bullies when I was a kid, the business bully. You ain't shit. Anyway, he completely, because we were doing pitches. That's what it was. We were doing pitches, and he completely laughed. I mean, ha, ha, ha. He laughed in my face on Zoom at my idea. And I was just like, Um, hey, Peaceful Journey. I was just like, I'm gonna show your fat ass. I'm gonna show your fat ass. So let me tell y'all my idea. So here was the idea, and it was the business model, right? So I had selected again my manufacturer after going through a few different. I wasn't able to order samples because these are all men's shoes, and so I selected my shoes. Even online, like they looked good. They were crocodile, all handmade, which they had all the videos and things, and these were all made in China. And so I selected the ones that I want. I also did research on this brand. I think I found one other shoe company that it looked like they were using the same manufacturer, right? These were expensive shoes. These are expensive shoes, okay? Off top. They're expensive for me ordering them directly. So, of course, with the markup, they're expensive. We're talking very high fashion, okay? Very upscale. That's why I was like, Steve Harvey. So, anyway, here's the business model. So the business model is I wanted to create a men's fashion country club around it. So, country clubs, just historically, country clubs are very elite, very upper echelon. You pay your yearly dues. It's very reserved. You have to be invited or be invited by somebody. This is how I was going to have it set up. You either are invited by us directly, or one of the members propose that you be accepted. You fill out an application. There are income requirements, all of that, right? So this is a men's fashion country club that I wanted to create. And I wanted to have where we do custom shoe fittings. All of my shoe concierge would be all females, and we would have black pencil skirts with a crisp white collar button down shirt. Like that would be the uniform. Okay. And we would go to the client wherever they was in the world. If they were not at home and they were off golfing, or if they were where we would travel to them, we would do a custom shoe fitting wherever they are. They would make a selection online, right? So they go onto their website with their own password. They'd have their own, concierge person that's helping them even online. And so they would select the shoes that they like and select the one that they're looking at purchasing that they want to try on, that they want to have for a fitting, and either one or two or whatever. But based on their selection, we would take one or two more with us to the shoe fitting. So their shoe concierge would go to them, do the custom shoe fitting, because these are all handmade to order. The shoes are all handmade to order. So we would do the custom fitting. You have this beautiful woman right there fitting your shoes, we'd all take private payments. The payments are all done privately, and essentially that's the business model. We would also deliver them, once their shoes are in, because the thing about it is the market that I was shooting for, they value and pay for convenience. So on lower levels, it may not sound like shit. So to fat ass business bully, it may not sound like nothing. But to the umpteen ultra wealthy and billionaires out there that your average people don't know, and the only reason I know about them is because I've studied that arena since 2017, and I've found out billionaires that you never hear about, and they're low key. Whatever it is they built their money, like they're low key, they're flying below the radar, and they're able to just live their lives, but they are ultra freaking wealthy. Those people pay for convenience. So you mean to tell me you'll come to me, do a custom shoe fitting, you'll bring my shoes back to me, and it's all just really upscale? Yes, yes, because I've not experienced that. I've not had that business model. So that essentially is the business model. That's a great service. And people with the income, exactly, 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 especially the quality of the shoes. So that was, and I thought that Miami might be a good place to launch that. So I was like, Miami might be a good place to launch that. Um, so that was, and like I said, I started my. So I was also doing. So when I had my Facebook, there's a group that I'm in from when I lived in Arizona. It's called Living Chandler. So I did a test, and um, I posted some of the images in there, asking the fellas if these were something they were interested in. Because again, I was trying to do pre-orders, but I wasn't trying to get their pre-orders. I was just gauging, what they thought about them, and all the guys liked them. There was a woman who she has a makeup brand. It's her name is Jennifer Bradley. She had contacted me back when I was a makeup artist, right? So she, I believe, is in Florida. So she has this thriving makeup business, her own makeup line, and she would communicate back and forth with me on Facebook. So she was saying that her guy, she was like, my guy would love these. I would love, and they were all just like, let me know, once it launch, yada, yada, yada. So I got great feedback from real people. It was only the business bully fat ass that laughed at my pitch. But like I said, I was just like, I'm going to show you. That was the first time in my life I ever even had that emotion of feeling like, I'm going to show you. Because I just feel like that is just such unhealthy energy. And who has time to just be trying to prove somebody wrong? But the fact that his fat ass laughed in my face, and you sitting up here on 690 pounds, you can't. Oh, shut up, Shalanda. But I was, no, he can't see. No, he can't see nothing but that fat ass food he's shoving in his mouth. Anyway, let me not go there. But it was a sore. It's still a sore spot because it was so unprofessional. So that was my idea. The whole everything, the country club, the fashion country club, just everything, and of course everything would be behind um a VPN, and then the private payments, you know what I mean, taking the private payments, just because we're dealing with ultra wealthy people. So if they wanted to keep their purchases private, um we would take private payments, so that this is private from the government, private, this is a private payment, all of that. I thought about all of that was within the business model. So that's another one that is still in the back of my mind. I really love the idea of that. So yeah, at some point, and here's the thing about not knowing what you don't know. Like as the saying goes, you don't know what you don't know. And at that time, and what I'm even learning now more and more with each entrepreneur video I watch and startup that I watch, what I'm learning is how to sell things. Now, not the pre order, right? But how to sell the idea to your customer, to your ideal customer, especially when if it's like a B2B type thing, right? Business to business type idea. To sell it first, to really prove the concept by selling it first. And I've seen a few things of that in action and at play. So it's got to be, from what I've seen in action, it's got to be a big enough idea. Like the vending machine thing, yeah, that definitely isn't it, but that is something that's doable. But it's got to be a big enough idea, like this here. I think this is a big enough idea to where I could possibly, after 100 no's, come across that 101. Yes, I would fund that. You know, so That's why I even brought it back up because I never let that go. I'm going to launch that. I'm going to launch that, you know? And then again, I'm going to employ another thing too with that because at the time I was still up on my fitness too. But with that, I wanted to have a personal trainer on staff to keep my ladies fit and in shape because that is a part, like it's all a part of our brand. You know, the way that we look is all a part of our brand. The way that you wear your clothes, which is a beautiful uniform, it's all a part of our brand. You know what I mean? So all of that. I thought about that too. Fulfills a need, absolutely. A beautiful woman, making sure you get the best fitting, most awesome shoes. Yes, they may have felt exactly. You see it. You see it. Wouldn't that be dope? Wouldn't that be dope? And I was actually thinking about the uniform being black, khaki, and white. Because I think in the summertime, having a khaki skirt with the white top would be great. And then in the winter months, the black skirt would be. So that's something I thought about then. I was like, I think that would be best. Um, hmm And then I was going back and forth between doing black or navy. Um, but I just love that crisp black and white, and then that khaki and white, just perfect. And definitely skirts um, instead of pants, definitely skirts, and quite possibly for the summer months for the khaki, quite possibly, or even winter as well, skirts quite possible because I think skirts can be, especially if they're wide leg. Ooh, some real wide leg skirts. Oh man, that would be dope. That would be. I would probably design them. I was thinking about that too. I would design the uniforms and then have a working fashion designer make them. Yes, and they pay for beauty, ease, and convenience without a blink. You hear me? Just a lot of measuring someone's foot can be central. Even that like, and with that, they'd rather have a woman. They'd rather have a woman doing it professionally, of course. Right, right, professionally, of course. But that all, like honestly, Quan, all of that is, what I was. That was all a part of it. So, you know, yeah, and of course, they would be paid very well, compensated very well, because again, the business model itself is very lavish, you know. And then just imagine what these guys would be tipping. You know what I mean? Imagine them tipping their concierge woman. Come on. Come on. Can you imagine what those tips would look like? Please. Please. So that's dope. I'm really glad that, that I mean, not that it stopped me from really wanting to, really knowing that I'm gonna go forward with this idea, but it's just dope that you see it because yeah, that's I think that's a dope idea. So um yeah, but for now we're gonna try and yeah, so it's a it's a process. It's a process. I would teach people about their feet and arches, shoe sizes. Even the 7-year-old people, didn't know their foot could feel that much better by making a change. That's that's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. And think about the active, wealthy, uber wealthy 70-year-old that's playing golf and that's still active and moving around, and you know what I mean? Still lively, you know. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Cause that's the age group of the wealth that I'm talking about, and then you have all of the men in their family. It's just, I just really love the idea. I love the business model. Um, and I think it's a dope idea. The only thing, like, I discovered many, 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 many times, and especially when I could not apply for Pharrell's um, Black Tech launch when I was doing my magazine, because his grant, you needed to be a two-person founder. You couldn't be a single founder, a single member LLC. And that's one thing I found is, again, being a single member founder, a single member LLC, which is viewed as a disregarded entity. It's disregarded because there's, like, the bulk of what your business could possibly do, you cannot do it solo. You can't do it solo. So the government views a single member LLC as a disregarded entity. That's what it's called. You're no benefits, no, like, no nothing, no nothing. You need at least a two-person founder, a two-member LLC to even be taken seriously. To even have your business entity taken seriously, there's got to be two of you. So that's why now my first step is going to be really finding a co-founder, because I don't want to just do some online thing, you know. The right thing will come because you putting it out there, and your business mind is amazing besides all your other attributes. Thank you, Quan. I appreciate that. It will. It will. The right co-founder will come. The right the right co-founder in whatever capacity, whether, you know, my partner is coming, whether it's my man and we working together, or if it's a co-founder that, we're not mixed like that. It will, because it has to, because my words will not come back to me void. And I'm at a great age, a great stage of my life. This is when wealth is built, and it's just, I refuse to have it any other way. I refuse. Like, it's either going to work, or it's going to work well, or it's going to work amazingly well. Either way, it's going to work. Either way, it's going to work well, amazingly well, fantastically well, spectacularly well, better than I could have ever imagined. It's going to work. That's just it, or that's it. Like Grant Cardone say, either go big or go bigger. It's like there is no going back home. You either go big or go bigger. Ain't no go big or go home. There's no going back home. Go big or go bigger. And sometimes you just need to go bigger. That's why, like, the other night, I was like, the moment you realize you've been thinking too damn small. And I realized that I've been thinking too small. I've been thinking way too small. I've been thinking too small. Go big or go bigger. And it's time I really go bigger. It's time I go bigger, because I've been thinking too small. Yeah. And that's also why I never let that go, because it, even having the business bullies big fat ass laugh at me, let me know I was on the right track. It let me know that this is a big idea. It is a big idea. And they view me as being too little to pull it off. Absolutely. 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 Quan said, I put the limits in my own head. I'm working on me. Absolutely. 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 Yep. So go bigger, go bigger. And I've done so many things. I've executed on so many things. because I don't just let the ideas sit in my head. That I don't do. I will execute. I will execute and go as far as I'm able to go, um, within what I know, you know. But yeah, I execute. Like even all this stuff that I'm telling you, I've executed on. You know what I mean? I've executed on it, and I always have support of the manufacturers. You know what I mean? Like I've had the support of the manufacturers. Even my manufacturer of my tracksuits, who was in Pakistan, like he supported me a lot. He supported me a lot, and you know, when I tell you, I did all kind of marketing of them tracksuits, and it took months. November, December, January, February, March. It took April. I think April was the first one. It took 5 months for me to get an order. But the thing about it was, and I had launched pre-order sales, all kind of things. But the thing about it was, it wasn't set up to take single orders. Um, they did. I ended up like at the same time in April, I ended up having 3 orders, and so he did it for me. But that I made $0 on that. When I say zero, I mean none. There was no profit. I made no money on those sales, none at all. It was set up to do bulk orders. So that's why I had launched and even relaunched the pre-orders, and I did everything, made videos. I even worked with a videographer where we put together a video. Like I did so much just to promote my tracksuits. I was making my own little advertisements, putting on different ones. I was doing so much because that's just what I do. I'll do as much as I can within my capability. And this is quite possibly even where the go big or go bigger. I was still trying to go big and go big and go big. And maybe I think I was going, let me not discredit myself, because I think I was going big within my capacity. I was going big within what I thought I could, with what seemed bigger to me, with what I had to work with, you know? So I've learned so much more since then. And now it's time to implement and execute on some of the things that I've learned, as far as selling the idea first, getting the capital, and then doing the thing, you know? So it's time to try that. It's time to give that a shot and go from there. So, first thing right now, just for myself, save up, stash away $1,000 a month from the cash flow that I'm about to have coming in. Just put away $1,000 a month. Keep doing what I'm doing right now. You know what I mean? Um, as well as showing that, because I will be moving around more. So that will possibly make my YouTube more interesting, because simultaneously, I do want to make my YouTube more interesting so that I can get to where I'm getting the AdSense revenue every month. So I got paid out in June. I'll get paid out again in September because I just reached the threshold, just reached it. So now that I have some cash flow coming in, I will be able to move around a little more. I will be moving around more because, I have to go to these places, but I still don't want to, because I created a strict budget for myself. I don't want to be burning through gas, um, because the budget that I've created is for the purpose of launching this next thing, but at the same time, moving around more, showing what I'm doing. Because again, my whole thing is van life, inspiration, and entrepreneurship. So this is where a lot of the entrepreneurship will come into play as a van lifer, right? So hopefully in my mind that will bring in more monthly AdSense revenue, more views and things like that, because I'm not just sitting here at the library, you know. But still, still, it just, I stay focused no matter what I'm doing. As I think shows, even by all my videos, they have been consistent because I pretty much have been talking about this from the beginning, because this is really my life and this is my focus. If my focus was on being a YouTube employee and wanting to do that first, then I would have found a way to make my videos look more like other van lifers, because it brings in more money. It brings in more AdSense revenue. But that's not where my heart is. My heart isn't in being a YouTube employee to launch these other things. Like, my heart really is like, this is just where I live. This is just the life that I've chosen, because I'm against traditional living since my teen years, right? So I just chose this 7 years ago, you know. But the documentation of my life really is as an entrepreneur and as someone who controls her own mind and her own thoughts. And this is where the inspiration comes in, being my own therapist since 12 years of age, sharing the moment my window gets busted, but at the same time sharing my real reaction of not blaming and not feeling like, oh, woe is me. And even in the video, I was like, God knows best. In the video, I said that when I shared when my window got busted, God knows best. He's gonna make this easy for me to get fixed. And that was my real raw reaction. That is the inspiration, not blaming anything or anybody. That's just not who I am as a person. I don't, you guys have never heard me complain about anything, because that's not who I am. So that's the bulk of my page. But y'all are going to see me, in these little gigs, see me save up this $1,000 a month, all that I'm going to be crystal clear and show, because I want y'all to see how I make these next moves that I make. And, that's just it. So I'm still, again, not going to be doing an excessive amount of driving because, I need to get, um, I need to get this entrepreneur business thing really, really going, you know, really going. And I'm dedicated to saving $1,000 a month. I definitely have to stick to that. $1,000 a month, period. But what's good is I'll be able to keep Le Château clean, as far as a car wash, because he is filthy. So I'll be able to go back to keeping him with a regular car wash. I'll be able to go back to doing laundry regular, because although I've always recycled my clothes, I've been preserving a lot more than I did when I had consistent income. Like now, I once I do laundry, I barely put on anything, because I'm like, I need to stretch this laundry for a few weeks. So I try not to, I definitely don't change outfits every day and do anything like that because, I'm very disciplined. If you don't know nothing else, you need to know that I am very disciplined, okay? Hey, I'm just keeping it 1,000 with y'all. I am very, very disciplined. But it'll be nice to, do laundry every week again, or at least every week and a half or every 2 weeks. Because now, like, I'm doing laundry like once a month. You know what I mean? Because shit, I try not to wear anything. I don't either. When I'm not working, I'm clean, but flipping all those clothes is unnecessary to me. It is. That too, I'll be able to shower at least. Now I don't have a gym membership, and I won't be getting one uh, uh, during this short term period, just because I don't know anywhere where you can just pay for one whole year and 1 year all up front. If I knew a place, and I'm not ever going back to Planet Fitness. Did y'all hear that story? I'm never going back to Planet Fitness again. So don't mention them. I'm never ever supporting them again. But the YMCA up the street, um, they charge $15 for a day pass. So at least I'll be able to get a day pass and go in there and take a shower, for like if it's too windy to put up my tent, or something like that, where I just really want to take an indoor shower and I really just want to have water flowing over me, and probably use 20 gallons of water instead of my little 6.6 gallons. So I don't remember that story at the moment. What story? No, it's something I just saw on YouTube a couple of days ago. So apparently there was a woman inside of Planet Fitness, and there was a young girl in there looking nervous. Now, of course, this country is big for questioning the victim. So in the story, it said the woman noticed a 12-year-old girl in there. Now, just because she didn't go into detail of who she was there with, none of that. I mean, I didn't, and so what? So what if she was there by herself? Whatever the case may be, she was in the female locker room, okay, and there was a dude in there grooming himself, and in front of the young girl, and she was looking nervous, and Planet Fitness kicked the old girl out who was recording and canceled her membership because this motherfucking man who identifies as a fucking woman instead of identifying as fucking retarded is in the women's restroom, the women's locker room. So people apparently, um, 5 million or billion, anyway, people started canceling their membership left and right. And even reading the comments of that story, people was like, oh, I'm about to cancel my membership now. Oh, and I'm going to have my family cancel their membership too. You got to be fucking kidding me. And it was a couple of comments from men who was like, how come I never hear about women who identify as men in the men's locker room, going into the men's restroom? Exactly. Because these fucking pervs, they're fucking perverts. At the end of the motherfucking day, you only hear about these fucking men uh, identifying as women, wanting to invade and just force themselves in women's area. You don't hear nothing about these motherfucking chicks, these trans men or whatever the fuck it's called. You don't hear about them forcing their way up in the men's restroom, forcing their way in the men's locker room, forcing their way in. When I was at the co-living house in LA, a motherfucking man came up in there and he put him in our room. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? When I was at the women's transitional housing in California, I mean, in Arizona, this was after Hotel Honda got stolen. This motherfucker looked every bit of like Tyler Perry, dressed as Medea. They let him in there, and he's antagonizing the old ass one. See, yeah, so Planet Fitness is out. Planet Fitness is out. Planet Fitness is out. That shit's ridiculous. Ridiculous. So they're out. They're out. I won't ever. I won't ever. But if I did find a place that you could just pay an annual membership, I would do that during this time um, of doing these gigs. I would do that. Yeah. Because also during this, and I did budget it. Like when I tell you, I put out my whole budget. So I am going to get another virtual address. I'm just, because even the first time I had it, I paid for it annually. I didn't do the month to month, but I thought I paid for 2 years. Apparently, I'd only paid for 1 year. Um, So when I get when I do this do start doing these gigs, I'm gonna get another virtual address and just pay for the year. So it's just more cost effective than doing month by month. So that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, you definitely got to stand for something because these fucking weirdo ass men. I mean, this whole trans agenda nonsense is a bunch of bullshit. But that shit's just crazy. I mean, even Bruce Jenner isn't with this shit. And don't come for me because I will never call that motherfucker Caitlyn. He ain't even trying to change his voice. Why the fuck should I call him Caitlyn? But even Bruce isn't for men competing in women's sports. Even he is publicly speaking out against that fucking foolery because it's a mental illness. It is a whole mental illness. He's like, no, no, no. And he been speaking out against that. He's been speaking out. Yeah, he walk around, you know, dressed in drag, cross dressing, whatever the fuck. But and I saw that video where he lied, talking about I guess he was golfing with his buddies, and he had used the women's restroom on the golf course, talking about it's cleaner than the men's. I said that's how you know these niggas never really been in a woman's restroom because no women's restroom is ever clean. You a lie? You are a lie. You are a whole liar. You are a whole liar. Women know the women's restroom be fucking nasty. Nasty. These bitches don't flush the toilet, don't wash their hands. You will see fucking bloody tampons with a bunch of toilet paper in there, unflushed. Man, please. The fucking sink be a. As soon as I saw that video, I said, I know you a lie. I know you a lie. The ones I know aren't for it either. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you can't just, it's not good enough to just be gay no more. That's not good enough. You can't just be gay. No, no, no. But like the comment said, and I've said this too, I never hear about or see about the trans. I can't keep up with what the fuck is what. But with women who claim to identify as men, I never hear about them being in the men's restroom or being in the men's locker room. I never hear about that. I never hear about that. I never see that. Because you know it's not happening. You know it's not happening. Because at the end of the day, she knows she a motherfucking woman. She could talk all that bullshit on social media and in the streets and all like that. But you're not about to put yourself in a private place where men are. You're not about to do that. You're not about to do that. You're not about to do that. You're not that trans crazy. You're not that motherfucking trans crazy. You know good and down well. You're not about to take that vagina up in this private penis only place. You know good and damn motherfucking well you are not about to do that. You know good and damn well you are not about to do that. Not gonna happen. Even from school, you got the boys in school, in high school, in grammar school. You got the boys forcing themselves up in the girls' restroom, beating up girls because she say, "You're a boy, get out of here," at the sacrifice of our comfort and peace. Right. It's crazy. This shit is crazy. And this is what the focus is on in America. In America, this is what the focus is on. That's why the whole family dynamic has shifted. You got men who are out here fucking soft as fucking cotton. You got men out here who are soft as cotton, who can't do traditionally masculine shit. You got men out here built up like they mamas, don't know a motherfucking wrench from a hammer from a goddamn fork. can't do shit. And then you got women out here just as incompetent, but they are so goddamn masculine. The whole family dynamic is just flipped upside down and chaotic. We worrying about this. We're arguing and debating over what's a woman when you got people in quote unquote third world countries teaching their children how to fucking function. You know what I mean? Teaching their children how to function. Little boys and little girls doing shit at 3, 4, 5 years old that our grown ass men and women can't even do. Even being a mumble dweller, like, you know how many people ask me, oh, how do you do this and how do you do that? Like, because I know how to think. That's why. Like, it's not difficult. It's not difficult when you know how to think. And then what are you going to do when shit shut down, when the fucking grid shut down? You're not going to know how to start a fire, how to get clean water. You're not going to know how to do any fucking thing because you're so reliant on being a sheep. That's crazy. That is insane to me. To me, I think it's insane. I mean, there's nothing more important than being capable and self-sufficient. Even when I was in the mansion and I had my garden, they were like, "You growing vegetables in there? You're grow what? How do you even just with my plants? How do you over the years I've gotten so many how do you questions on what I think is basic things. What do you mean? How do I? It's easy. It's easy. To me, it's very easy. So, anyway, what's not so easy is building a business as a solo person and trying to find partners and that's for someone in my skin. And that's why I say I just have to navigate my conversations and my plan as if I already have it. I just got to get on the frequency of having it. If I was in a different, less melanated ethnicity, it wouldn't be as difficult because even the culture of that is different. It's just different. They can, and when I say they, I mean anybody they, whether Mexican, Asian, European descendant, even African, they can share their idea with one of their um, peers and it not get shut down. Me as a Black American will share my ideas like I have with relatives, with peers, and it go nowhere because they can't fathom not having a job for someone else that they can get fired from at any minute. That all they do is complain about just barely making enough to pay their bills or shit they don't like at the company. Like, we don't think ownership ever. We don't think partnership ever. We don't think working together ever. So it's only in this skin and ethnicity and nationality that I think it's the most difficult because I've seen other people do it. I've seen when I was married, even afterwards, because I dated a Nigerian, I've seen them put their money together and build something from the ground. I've seen them do it. I've seen them do it many times over again. I've seen them do it. We've all watched the Mexicans do it. We've all watched them put their money together. We've all watched them do it. I've seen and heard about the Asians doing it. I've had conversations with them. I know that's what they do. You know, we don't. We don't. So for me, I just need to, what I know works for me is I just need to put myself on the frequency of where I need to be. So I need to navigate as if I already have a co founder. And that's how I will attract my co founder because I just need to navigate as if I have the co-founder already, because me, like, I even the before it grew to the men's fashion um uh um country club. I first brought that idea to one of my cousins. I had another idea. I was going to partner with my cousin, a different cousin on my dad's side, who he ended up having, and he's been working for the same company for 20 some years. And, he does investments and different things like that in crypto. Um, Nothing really major though, but he won't go full on entrepreneur. And it's not like he has any of his own businesses that are, he has his job. But even with that, so the couple of things that I've attempted to do with relatives is just, they're heavily dependent on their job, and that's their security net, that's their safety. So, that's, for me, if I had to say one thing that sucks about being Black American, it's that being Black American with other Black Americans who think like victims and who think like sheep, like employees. For me, myself, I love being Black American, but it just sucks being Black American with other Black Americans who, just in general, as a whole, as a nation of people, we don't think ownership. We don't think partnership. We don't think business, and that's the part that sucks. That's the part that sucks for me. Because other than that, it'll be like, I was married to a fucking jealous snake. Like he was constantly putting holes in my drilling holes in my boat. You know what I mean? Constantly drilling holes in my boat, behind my back, in my face. Like he was constantly drilling holes in my boat. Constantly. Constant. Just jealous. Jealous, completely jealous. I see it for what it actually was. And that was tough. That was tough. It just seems like, over the years, uh, but it was all to my benefit. Like I refuse to see it any other way. It's gotta be, I'm in the best time of my life, and that's how I've seen it. Like I'm in the best time of my life because I've learned so much more. I have so much more knowledge and information about business, and I'm able to implement some of these things once I am able to launch something. Just like all of the information I got from Gary Vee about having a big social media page that I was getting from him from 2009, 2010. And I was even doing it all those years, but I never had a big page. So once I had a big audience and I had that Instagram page at 25,000 subscribers, I was like, okay, now I actually get to implement this with an audience. I was still doing the things that I had learned from Gary Vee back in 2009, and up until that point, I was replying to every comment. I was acknowledging every comment. I was, you know, uh, just everything I had learned from there, I had implemented. I even on that page, this was when I had 20,000 subscribers, followers, whatever they call it. I sent, now I was very ambitious. I said I was going to do all 20,000. Baby, I did not make it. I did not, I think I got 70. I didn't even get it to 100. But I personally, I didn't do a pre-recorded video and just no. I 70, okay, of the followers on that Instagram, I sent them a video DM, said their name, thanking them for following the page and asking them what more could I give them? Like what more value could I bring to them? What do they want to see on my page that would bring them or give them more value? Some of the people, was like, is this really you? Is this real? What? Like the reception from that was amazing. But these are things that from years before, from watching Gary Vee, and I had never had a audience all those years I had never had an audience. In 2020, when I was doing my live show every day on YouTube, once the world shut down, I would have 5 people on that live, but every day I'm showing up every day. I did, I think, 54 episodes, and then when the world opened back up, baby, I hit Venice Beach. But every day I was showing up. Every day, every day, every day. And then I started, I launched with a sister that I knew from Arizona, and a sister that was following my Instagram and my YouTube. I started a sister circle, a Sunday sister circle. So every Sunday we would get together on Zoom, and we'd have our smoke session. It was in the morning, so we would have, our wake and bake session, our tea, coffee, whatever. But that was the first when I started. I wanted to launch where we uh, all pool our money to. And I took the idea from what the Gambians did, the Gambian Association in Minnesota. So they would all um, put money into the Gambian Association every single month. And at the end of the year, one person would win that pot to launch a business. And so what that was just what would happen at the end of the year. But throughout the year, because again, they're all Gambians. So they're like, this is not our country. But what this money does, if anybody get messed with from immigration, any little thing, anything they needed help with, anything, the funds came from that pot, no matter what it was. So it's kind of like, if you're if you're paying in your monthly dues to this Gambian Association, and you're Gambian and you live in Minnesota, so that means if anything does happen to you, you have the protection of the community. So if there was a Gambian, which there was a couple of Gambians that lived in Minnesota that were outside of the Gambian community. And then once my ex-husband, who I called Mr. Gambia, once he found out there's a Gambian, of course he's gonna go introduce himself and gonna go fucking question him and this and that. And then, make him feel bad as if, like, clearly they don't give a fuck. Clearly they're outside of the Gambian community anyway. And just, tell them that if anything happened, you won't have to protect. Well, they're already outside of the Gambian community. So it's not like they're going to care. You can't miss what you already don't have. But that was what the funds were for. So at the end of the year, they would pull someone's name and they would get all of the money from the pot to launch a business, an actual brick and mortar business somewhere in Minneapolis. And that's what they would do, So with the sister circle, this is what I had attempted to do. And so it was me, the sister I know from Arizona, who I know personally because I was in Arizona, and then the other young sister who was my subscriber on YouTube and also followed me on Instagram. So she was a young woman. She was married. They had, I think, 2 daughters. And when I say young, she was in her 20s, right? And so the other sister, her and I are age mates. She might be a couple years younger than me, but we're much older than this sister. So I was saying we can do that, all pool a certain amount every month, and at the end of a certain time, I said, I think this sister, I think they should get the money because she has a young family, and they can launch a business. And then we go right back into continuing, while I would also continue to grow the community and bring more sisters into the community. But that didn't go anywhere. Like, they just stopped showing up even for the Sunday sister circle. And, it's just, it's really tough trying to do anything. But if I wanted to get together and complain about how the Mexicans is taking over this and how, the white man keeping us down, I mean, I could grow a community of 100,000 black folks if that's what the community was about, if that was the community was around, shitting on everyone else's efforts, blaming everybody else for what we don't have and what we don't do and the effort that we don't put in, then yeah, I could grow a community off that. but it wouldn't go anywhere. Like I couldn't monetize that fucking community. I couldn't monetize it. There would be no benefit to it. But yeah, so that's that. That's that. I'm not ever gonna stop attempting because I always have ideas. And to my core, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur to the core. So just like all the other entrepreneurs that I've ever watched who have had 30, 40, 60 failed adventures that they've attempted, it's just, you just need that one. You just need that one that's going to pop off, and there you go. And sometimes you just need the one something that you don't know coming from someone else. Because, like, so the video that I watched today on Starter Story, somebody told him, he was like, well, why don't you sell the idea first? What I said earlier. And he was like, I never thought about that. And he got on an email, got on a phone call with a business, and the lady was like, "Oh yeah, sure, I love it. I'll buy it. Send me the invoice. Email me the invoice." And he just said he was in such disbelief, But someone had to share that information with him. So yeah, it'll. This is why I won't ever stop. I won't ever give up because I, my ideas are going to keep coming, and at some point it's all going to come together. At some point, it's all going to come together because I don't have a give up or a quit button in me. I just don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I believe in me. I believe in me. And God is in me. So I believe in God and I also believe in me. So that's just what it is. So for now, it's just putting away the money. And while I'm doing that, researching places that I can launch a vending machine, where I can put a vending machine. That is where I'm at right now. And because even to just get one vending machine, I can do that on my own. I can just get and place one vending machine. I can do that. I can do that. And then at some point, I can get and place the second vending machine. I can do that. But what I'm saying is to grow that into an actual business. That's what I'm saying. I want a co-founder to establish a business. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that before I even get one vending machine, I need a co-founder. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's gonna happen now. Like that's why I'm gonna be saving $1,000 a month. Um, select what I'm gonna do, and then launch that. And again, I really do think for California, I think the pet food vending machine would be amazing in California. I think that would go here in Southern California, in Orange County especially. I think that would be a hit. That would be a hit. Yeah, the pet food. And there are so also, yeah, so that will probably be the first one I go with here in Cali. So we'll see. Because like I said, I just don't feel comfortable um, putting a eyelash vending machine in California. My gut just doesn't feel comfortable about that. Nowhere. My gut does not feel comfortable about that at all. So I'm gonna listen to my gut and I'm not gonna do that. But the pet food vending machine, now that right there is a go. That I think will be a win. So that's what I'm gonna do, and that's something that I can do on my own. I can launch on my own, and that's not a problem at all. So that's where I'm at. So y'all about to see how I'm gonna do all that with these gigs that I got going on, and saving up money. $1,000 a month. That's my minimum, right? So if my other gig goes through, if this goes through, which is tentatively set to start around September 1st, if that goes through, then I'll be able to save between um, I'll be able to save 2,000 a month, maybe 2,200 a month. If that goes through, I'll be able to save 22, quite possibly even 2,500 a month. Yeah, so that'll be awesome. That would be awesome, at least for a little while, because one of the gigs is just a short term. So we'll see. We'll see. I just, you know, putting putting the idea putting the ideas out there, because ideas are worthless, right? So, you know, ideas are worthless. It's only when you implement it and get it off the ground and actually make it something. So I don't have a problem uh, discussing these ideas, because I need to even just feel the vibration of my voice and of the words and put it out there into the universe, so that vibration is what goes out, so I get the equivalent of that back. You know what I mean? And then just feel everything bubbling up as I'm speaking about it and talking about it. So ideas though are worthless. Ideas are ideas on their own are worthless. So people be worried about people stealing ideas. I'm not. I'm not worried about. I'm not big enough for that, and nobody big enough is watching me that's gonna say, "Ooh, yeah," and I got the bread. Let me go. There's nobody with millions of dollars watching me. There is nobody with millions of dollars watching me that can say, "Oh, I like that. I like that fashion country club. Yeah, let me go launch that. Let me get my lawyers right on that." Yeah, I'm not on anybody's radar right now. So not worried about that at all. You feel me? You feel me? We have no concern about that at all. But I'm just sharing it with y'all. Um, and hopefully it sparks something in somebody. Hopefully it sparks something in somebody, because I'm telling you, we got to create things that we can leave for our grandchildren. You know, it's our responsibility to make sure our grandchildren don't have to suffer and struggle. That should be our goal, to leave something in a trust put together on automatic pilot for our grandchildren, you know, and our great grandchildren if we can. And then with the information that we have out here now about preserving and protecting wealth when it comes to trusts and foundations and all these different things, um, we're able to we're able to establish things and protect it for generations. We throw in these terms and words around generational wealth, this, that, and the third. But really, everybody's only trying to get a bag for themselves. I don't hear enough Black people that speak about generational wealth also speak about protecting that wealth, that are also speaking about trust in that wealth. There's a select few, and probably more so a select couple, you know. But those solopreneurs that are talking about getting a bag, getting a bag, getting a bag, they're not even setting up their children. They're not even setting their children up. They're not teaching their children the business. Their children aren't listed on the business. They don't have a corporation where their children are members in the corporation. You know what I mean? I'm not hearing enough of these people that's talking about getting a bag, having an S corp or a C corp. You know what I mean? None of that. But we talk about generational wealth, generational wealth. Well, what are we really talking about? I think we just, again, regurgitating words that we hear, like diabolical. That's the word now for the last half of 2024 diabolical. And it's just like, come on now. Come on now. Dictionaries are vital. Dictionaries are vital. Don't just keep repeating words that you hear somebody else say, and just because you didn't know that word or don't use that word, now you're going to start. No, it doesn't make you sound any more intelligent. We got to really know what we're talking about. And I would love to see some of these people get in a bag, um, also with their children, answering the phones. They're teaching them, about the books and about their P&L statements and how the business is running. But we want to talk shit about those that we see doing it, like Blue Ivy. You know what I mean? Yeah, some people praise it, but they don't even know what they're looking at. And then there's some people that talk shit about it. Or Bronny. I mean, come on now. Of what There's nothing wrong, whether it's true or false. I don't know. I wasn't there. But I don't think there's anything wrong with LeBron saying, if y'all don't bring Bronny onto the Lakers, I'm going to leave the Lakers. I don't think there's a damn thing wrong with that. I don't think there's a damn thing wrong with that at all. I mean, if it's not on us to make our children and grandchildren's lives easier with our efforts, what the hell are we doing? But we want to we let our children watch us go to work for somebody else's dad, decade after decade after decade, and don't even attempt to leave them shit. Don't even attempt to leave them a job that we can just escort them into and say, here, this is where you're going to be. This is how this works. This is how you do this. And now you take over. We don't want to do that. We just want to go to work for somebody else's dad. You know what I mean? We want to go to work for somebody else's family. And then want to talk shit about the Mexicans because they own all the motherfucking gas stations around here, and they building up all their own Mexican shopping centers and laundromats and all the shit that their people need. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to work hard for ourselves. We don't want to save up to buy that laundromat that's for sale and now make that laundromat black owned and then remodel that laundromat. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We don't want to look into buying a fast food franchise because, yeah, black people eat Chick-fil-A. It's a franchise. Why not buy one? Why not save up? Why not pool your money with some relatives? We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do anything. We don't want to do anything but complain about our job and the white man and every motherfucking body else that's putting in effort. And complain about folks, oh, they only hire this and on. Well, see, if we own some shit, then we can only hire too. We could only hire people that look like us. And then we want to talk shit about what's the name of that place that was in Kendrick Lamar's video, Not Like Us video? Tams. Well, Tams ain't even black owned. And it's like, shut the fuck up. What in the hood is black owned? Because we don't want shit. We don't want shit. And then the little black owned mom and pop things that are in the hood, those aren't the ones that we support. We steal from them. We steal out of there. The fuck do you mean it's not black owned? How many spots in the hood is black owned? Stop playing. Anyway, I've been saying this same shit for decades, no cap. And, people continue to watch me attempt and attempt and attempt. And I continue to watch the same people that look like me, even just not support my little efforts, my little ventures. That's why it took so long to sell 3 tracksuits. People complimented it. People complimented it. People loved it. It was cute. Uh, People said, yeah, when I get paid, I'm a be. People loved seeing me post my magazine. People love seeing us attempt. Our people love seeing us attempt things, but we don't want to get behind our success. We don't want to say, I'm about to do that. Even, we got to do better at that. We have to get better at that. We have to get better at that. We really do. We really do. We have to get better at that. You know. And it doesn't even matter how cheap, like my journals. My journals are very inexpensive. With as many people that look like me that are subscribed and watch my videos, and I'm just gonna put this out there. There's no reason why I shouldn't already be at 50 or 100 units sold. There's no reason. There's no reason. There's enough people that look like me that are subscribed and watch the videos of this channel that $8 or $20 isn't going to break the bank, to whereas 50 people have purchased or 100 people have purchased a journal. And then people are constantly sharing the link. This is like, it's just, we got to do better at supporting one another instead of complaining about what other people are doing, because they're not doing anything wrong. They're not doing anything wrong. Not from the white Americans, the European Americans, the Asians, the Asian Americans, the Mexicans, the Mexican Americans, the Africans. They're not doing anything wrong. They are not doing, and they're not doing anything to spite us or to belittle us. They're not thinking about us. And that's what the victim mentality has a problem with. They think everybody should be thinking about us, but we're not fucking thinking about us. We're not thinking about us. That's the problem. They shouldn't be thinking. They're thinking about their own people. And that's our problem. We don't think about our own people. We don't say, he doing this, we'll go on social media and say, I'm not just gonna support a black business just because it's a black business. And feel pride in saying that. Feel validated in saying that. But then we think why should anybody else think about us? Why should anybody else think about us when we don't think about us? They watch us not support one another. Why should they support us? Honestly, that's a valid question. That's a valid question. They watch the fact that we've been born in this country for centuries, generations. They come here 2 generations and they already own the shopping mall. And all we do is talk about, well, they were given this and they were given that and they were given this and they were given that. And we don't fucking know. We don't know. Because at the same time, we talk about how many of them live in one apartment together. At the same time, we talk about how raggedy their clothes are until their clothes ain't raggedy no more. At the same time, we talk about how they live until they living better than us. And we've been living here hundreds, hundreds of years, centuries, generations we've been born here. So, whose fault is it really? Whose fault is it really? Because how would you feel if you had what? Matter of fact, with the pop out show here in California, you had Mexicans talking about blah blah blah. The Mexican community wasn't represented enough. What? Kendrick Lamar is not Mexican. What the fuck do you mean? It's in California. What do you mean? Everyone said how stupid they sounded. Everyone said how entitled they sound. This wasn't about you. This was not about you. What do you mean you felt underrepresented? This wasn't about you. How are you making something that's not even about you about you? That's how we sound. Talk about the Mexicans taking off the white folks this, the Asians this. Look, what they do for their people is not about you. How you making it about you? How you making the fact that they open up a Mexican taco shop and put all the motherfucking signage in Spanish? How you making that about you? This has nothing to do with you. That's not even your goddamn food. That's not even your food. I don't care if you love it. That's not your food. So what you mad for? Who are you mad at? That ain't got nothing to do with you. Because you go to Koreatown and there is a Koreatown. There is a Chinatown. There's no, I mean, I don't even know what the fuck it would be called. But how are we mad at that? How are we mad at that? They're looking out for their people as they should. Who we looking out for? Strictly ourselves, like strictly the individual. That's it. Not even our children, just strictly the black woman only look out for herself. Just her. Just her. You can attack me if you want to. The proof is in the pudding. And the proof of the pudding is in the eating. We see it. We see it. We see a lot of black women out here getting a bag and her child or children aren't partners. She don't have a family LLC or a corporation where her children are members of that. We see it. We see it. It's just strictly about self. We don't have black families running the family as a business. We don't have black friends pooling their money together for a business. We'll pool our money to get a motherfucking bag of weed. We'll pool our money together to go to the fucking liquor store. But we're not pooling together thousands of dollars to start a fucking business, to buy a business, to buy a franchise. We're not doing that. But we think somebody else should think about us. We think somebody else should come and just give us. Well, we see what happened when we're giving. Donald Trump gave away thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And what did Black America do with it? What did Black America do with all that money that Donald Trump, that they curse, gave them? What did Black America do with all that money? The bulk of them damn sure didn't start businesses, actual businesses. They didn't buy franchises. All the blacks, even here in California, that fraudulently got the PPP loan, what the fuck did they do with all that money? We talk about handouts, reparations. 2020 was the best view of reparations we never saw. And what did Black America do with the money? Crickets. Right, right. So why are we mad at people? Why are we mad at people that got their priorities together? Why are we mad at people that love who they are and love their nationality and love their ethnicity? Because we hate ourselves. Why are we mad at them? Why the fuck are we mad at them instead of taking clues from what they're doing? We sitting on the sidelines in our own country talking shit and not doing anything. We sitting on the sidelines in our own country talking shit and not doing a goddamn thing and not even trying to help those of us who are trying to do something. We can't be mad, man. We can't be mad at nobody. I don't even think people should be mad at themselves because people are deliberately making their own choice. So don't be mad at yourself. You want to be a dependent. You want to be a sheep because if you didn't, you would make yourself do something different. So there's no reason to be mad or bitter or even docile. Like even that's not a good energy. Just be proud of being a sheep. Be proud to be a sheep. Be proud of that. Be proud of showing your children how to be good sheep. Be proud of the fact that in Black America, the culture is show your children how to be good sheep and good slaves. That's the Black American culture. And if that's not, then what else do we do? What else do we do? I don't know. I don't know. Cuz what else is there, you know? But I do want to say this. That's not the only option. And that's not even a great option. Because at the end of the day, we really do, once you remove that slave victim mentality, we really do live in the land of the free. As long as you're brave, as long as you're willing to be brave, you'll realize you do live in a free country. No other country around the world can you publicly shit on the president. There's no other country around the world where you can publicly talk shit about the commander in chief and with no consequences. And see, we may not even realize that because we may not even know people in other countries or talk to people in other countries or even have pen pals with people in other countries or even watch or know anything about other countries. But that is a fact. No other country in this world can you publicly on social media talk shit about the United States president, about the commander in chief of that country, and not have any consequences. If that's not a motherfucking free country, I don't know what the fuck is. If a free country isn't the equivalent of being able to publicly bash the commander in chief, I mean, what else? What else is there? What else is there? If the epitome of living in a free country isn't living in a free country and complaining about all the handouts that you don't get, on top of just disregarding all the handouts that is given in this country, having the audacity to complain about not being given more handouts. If that's not a free country, this country is the land of fucking handouts. You have people who don't attempt to do anything for themselves, but have the audacity to say how there should be more handouts for this, that, or the third, for XYZ. If that's not living in a fucking free country, I don't know what is. And that's what we need to wrap our minds around and put some gumption behind, especially as Black Americans. This is our country. It's the only country that we know. And we have more freedom in this country than we want to take credit for. Here's one. There's no other free country that you can live in as a Black American and be as lazy and lackadaisical as Black Americans are. Because I think it's lazy to just go to work for somebody else's family and that's it. That's all you do. That's lazy because somebody else put everything on the line to lay everything out to where now you don't even have to think. They had an employee handbook. The founder, somebody had to put that employee handbook together. And I've written an employee handbook in 2021. And even that was fucking stressful. But that is no other country are you allowed to be as lazy as you are. Because even in other these third world countries, as a employee, you're gonna work a lot fucking harder than you do in this country as a W-2 employee. You're able to work in this country, be lazy, and then as soon as you're not even your off days, but as soon as you clock out, you turn your brain completely off, and you can say, I'm not doing shit for the rest of the day, for the rest of the night. And literally go home, turn on the idiot box, and then just be dumbed and numbed down. And then on autopilot, wake up the next morning and go and do as you're told again for however many hours. If that's not freedom, I don't know what the fuck is. If that is not freedom, I don't know what is. To live in a country and to live in a country where your ancestors were enslaved and shed blood and built up, and you decide you're going to work for someone else's family and not even attempt to leave anything for your own children. If that's not freedom, I don't know what the fuck is. To live in a country where this is your heritage, where you have the heritage of your people were enslaved on these same lands, where you work for the immigrants who came here, kidnapped your people, enslaved them here, forced them to work for free, and now you work for their families and not even think about leaving your own children accompany anything of their own name to make their life easier, to make their children's life easier. If that's not freedom, how the fuck can we talk shit about this country, the only country that we've ever known? How can we talk shit about that when we have the luxury to sit in this country and, like 50 Cent said, claim depression and anxiety? We have the luxury to think so stressfully about future events that hadn't even happened to where now we're anxious. We have the luxury to just focus so strongly on shit that has already happened, on memories of things that have happened to us, that now we're depressed. We have the luxury of doing that in this country. And that's not freedom? What the fuck is freedom if all these things are not freedom? You don't have to think about what you're going to build. Someone already did all that work. Someone already made all them sacrifices and probably lost their children, their family, while they were trying to build this business, this company that you work so freely for and so mindlessly and effortlessly for, that your child may not even know what the fuck they're going to do when they're out here in the workforce, because you didn't even bother and still aren't even trying to set them up for success, because you'd rather work for someone else's family, because you have the freedom to do that in this country. You have the freedom to do that in this country. We don't even realize in other parts of the world, you got to figure shit out for yourself. And when you work, you are still working like a slave. You don't have the luxury of working in air conditioning and under these pristine conditions in other parts of the world. If this isn't the land of the free and the home of the brave, but it's the home of the brave. You have to be willing to be brave in this country. The same way them 54 men, the founding fathers, the colonizers, that took bravery for them to stand up to the British, them British soldiers, and sacrifice and risk their life so that they can implement their own visions and their own ideals. That took bravery. And you got to wipe out that victim slave mentality to see that. That shit took bravery. They risked their lives to say, we don't need these fucking Brits walking around with their guns telling us what to do, when to live, on a curfew. We don't fucking need them. So you know what? This is what we gonna do. UN, John Hancock, sign here. Because we're gonna overthrow these motherfuckers. We're gonna kill and risk being killed. And it's always casualties of war. But we gotta get these motherfuckers out of here. And that took bravery to get this land to be free for them to implement their ideals however they wanted to do. You know what I mean? Don't see that whole victim bullshit of it. You got to see the entrepreneur guts behind it. This country was built on war and entrepreneurship. And that is why the businesses get all of the fucking tax advantages. Because who's going to give an advantage to a dependent? You're a dependent. You're a liability. You're not putting anything out here into the marketplace. Why should I give you tax benefits? Why should I tax the rich? No, the employees get taxed the highest amongst anybody. W 2 employees get taxed the highest. W 2 employees pay the most taxes in this country, as they should, as they should. Somebody else put all the risk. Somebody else took all the risk to build up this company so that you can go there and work and do a half-ass job and be on your cell phone while you on the phone and barely want to take calls and give shitty customer service and be at work complaining about being at work. Like, where the fuck else you gonna do that at if not in the United States of America? Where else can you be at work complaining about being at work publicly out loud on the sales floor if not in the United States of America? If this isn't the land of the free, you got to be able to see that though. You got to be able to see that, because we have the luxury to just actually decide that we're not going to do shit and leave shit for our children and our grandchildren. I mean, that takes some balls to do that. To know that we live in a country where even with just a little bit of teamwork and partnering, we can make anything happen in this country. And this is what all the other people know. That's why they work together. That's why they work together. Because that's how you get shit done, working together. The Filipinos just got here. Filipinos haven't been in this country long. They haven't been here long. They already got a motherfucking grocery store. There's a whole Japanese market in Irvine. There's a whole fucking Korean market. There's a whole Korean town, Koreatown. The whole area is Korean shit. We have heavily populated areas where we're the residents, but as far as the businesses in those areas, they're not owned by us because we choose not to work together. It's our fault. It's not anyone else's fault. It's our fault that Tams isn't black owned. It's our fault that the laundromats in the black neighborhoods aren't black owned. It's our fault that the fucking franchise restaurants in the black neighborhoods aren't black owned. It's our fault that the liquor stores in the black neighborhoods are not black owned. It's our fault. We can't blame them when statistically we see that we're the biggest consumers. You got to be a fool to not put a business where the people spend the most fucking money. You got to be an idiot. You got to be an idiot to see that in 2020, Black Americans spent more money than anybody else. You got to be a fool to know statistically Black Americans are the biggest consumers and then not put a business in the motherfucking area where they live. You got to be a goddamn idiot to not do that. And we're the goddamn idiots because we're the ones that don't do it. We're the ones that don't put businesses in our community. We are the idiots. We are the goddamn fools because we don't put the businesses in our community. But we're the biggest spenders. We are the biggest spenders in this fucking country. We spend the most money on liabilities, on bullshit in this country. That part. Hey, Brandy. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. I think that's insane. Not at all. People don't use brains. No, no, not for shit like this. Because this it's too sensible. And at the end of the day, it's too easy. We have big families. You know what I mean? We have big families. We have a lot of relatives, a lot of friends. You know how easy it would be for us to pool our money, and at the end of the year, even have $50,000 to go and even just, do something small like buy a laundromat. That would be too easy. The difficult part is not flashing and spending money on bullshit. The difficult part is the sacrifice that it would take to now not go out and spend bullshit, not get them dumbass lashes done every motherfucking however often they get them done, not go out to the club. That the sacrifice is the difficult part, and that's why W-2 employees rightfully should pay the most taxes because they don't want to sacrifice anything. Someone else did all the sacrificing to build this up. So you should pay all the taxes. No, don't tax the rich more. And the rich uh, business owners, eh, you could say what you want about taxing them. All the tax laws and tax credits work to their advantage. So they know how to work shit around and recycle money here and create this foundation to where they can legally, because we do live in a great country, not pay any federal fucking taxes. What? And then you have states where you can set your business up that have no state taxes. And then you add that to the states that have uh, anonymous LLC where you can open up these business and someone not ever be able to find out who the owner is. No, because we as black people always shoot each other down so much. We don't help each other at all. That's these Gen X's, us 80 babies are hip. Yeah, it sucks, and you even have a lot of us too that have that scary mentality, because we was raised by them damn baby boomers. We was raised by the baby boomers. As a Gen Xer, there's a lot of us that may just now be getting, but there's a lot of Gen Xers that have that scary baby boomer mentality. They bought the lie. They bought the lie of get a good job, get an education, yada yada. So now we're in our 50s, and the Gen Xers that actually bought that and believed it and did it, and now that they don't have any, they have no savings, they have no money, and they're like, I was fucking lied to. And I'm like, yeah, you should have saw that. Like, I'd rather be me than be a Gen Xer that bought the baby boomer lie, worked for a company for 20 something fucking years, and don't have anything to show for it. I would be pissed. I would be pissed. I'd rather have umpteen businesses that I've attempted, you know, that wasn't able to get as big as I wanted. I'd rather have that be my story than I worked for this company for 36 years and don't have shit. I knew I knew back at as a, you know why I knew it was a fucking lie? Because even the baby boomers were miserable and they didn't have shit. So I knew it was a lie. If it didn't work for you, how is it gonna work for me? If it didn't work for your parents and it didn't work for you, I know this shit ain't gonna work for me. I'll look, I'll figure it out on my own. I'll figure it out on my own. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I lived as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity. And you're not going to take my dignity by telling me to work for a motherfucking company for 20, 30 years and then just to end up with nothing but a fucking gold watch and a see you later. You can kiss my ass. Nope, I wasn't going to go for it. So I'd rather continue to attempt to, make things happen. I'd rather continue to, um, like I was just talking about earlier, uh, put my energy on as if I had a co-founder already and get a co-founder. I would love to be a co-founder of an actual full black owned something, but Yeah, yeah. A lot of us Gen Xers dropped the ball, definitely. But what you said was the nail on the head. But we have to do better. We have to do better. Like our children's lives depend on it. We have to do better. We know that, right? Like we all know that what you said, Brandon, we all know that. And because uh, because I've been having this conversation, I've been saying this stuff for 2 decades. And this is what is so hurtful. We know this, where you said we always shoot each other down so much and we don't help each other. We know this, right? Anytime I'm having these conversations, there's always at least one or two or three people that comment the same thing. Even in other videos, I see other people that comment this on other people's videos that are talking about this. We know this and we all agree on this, but why won't we change it? Why won't we change it? Even like I've said many times within your own individual, why won't we change it? Because knowing it and saying it, that that isn't good. That isn't good. That's why the world laughs at us. That's why nobody respects us. Because we know what our problem is, but we won't even change it within our own household, within our own friendships, within our own circles. We won't even change it. Because if we did, here's why I say this. Because if we did, when I have these conversations and when I share my experience of having ideas that I bring to relatives and friends and different things, there will be somebody in the community of wherever I'm talking that will say, "Me too, I tried that too. Why don't we try something together? Why don't we?" Because the comments will be stories of how they brought this idea to this relative or this, whatever, whatever, whatever. And it was the same thing. And then we would click on that. So we don't, it's on us to fix it. It's on us to do better. It's on us to do better. It's on us to make the sacrifices. It's on us to have moments of where our spending has to go way down because we don't have it. It's on us to, for once, live below our means for our future and our grandchildren's future. So, because we're sacrificing to build something so that they don't have to, so we can just usher them in and say, now here's where you, if you choose to. Now if you don't want to take over the family business, if you don't want this ready-made job here for you, we got to set it up within the trust and different foundations to where we lock in that wealth to where it can't even be taken outside of the family still. Okay, maybe we hiring outsiders if no one wants to do it, but it's locked in. It's contractually locked into the family and cannot be taken outside of the family. Still, we as black people. Yeah, but we got to work on that though. We got to work on that, and it starts with self. It starts with getting in the mirror. It starts with healing. It starts with healing that child that so many Black Americans just left behind. It starts with going back and getting that child. So many Black Americans have so much unhealed trauma within that little child that they left back there. And they think just because they've aged into adulthood that they've healed. No, you haven't. And you haven't with however much you cannot sit in silence because that little child is coming and talking to you like, why did you leave me? Why did you leave me here? Everybody else left me. Everybody else counted me out. I didn't think you would leave me. When are you going to come back for me? That's where it starts. It starts with healing our own traumas. It starts with being able to sit in the silence and get in the mirror and get in that child that we just abandoned and left behind. And until we stop seeing every fucking thing, every part of healing as taboo, uh, you know. But I've said before, it's gonna be the generation in 100 years. Like it seems like we just all got to be wiped out because we know what our issue is, but we won't bother to do anything. And that's the problem I have. Like I said earlier, I love being Black American. I just don't love being Black American with these Black Americans. I just don't love that. I don't love that. For me, I love it for me individually, but I don't love being Black American with these people. Because we know what our problem is, but we won't do anything about it. Even collectively, you know what I mean? Collectively. Even the fact that we just don't even acknowledge Kwanzaa, like that's pathetic. I've been acknowledging and celebrating Kwanzaa since I found out about it in 1995. And we just don't even acknowledge Kwanzaa. And that Black celebration was created to give us culture. Those 7 principles of Kwanzaa is to be implemented in our day to day life. That's culture. That's culture. Throwing a party for the family member that just got out of prison and that being a a unified thing that we know goes on in the Black community. That's not culture. That's not fucking culture. That's not culture. That's sick shit right there. Celebrating a motherfucker coming home from prison from a crime that they committed. The fuck are we celebrating? That's not culture. That's not culture at all. We can't do anything with that. We can't do shit with that. Having the culture of knowing that you can have a group of Black people in a circle, and the majority of them are probably going to be raised by a single mother. Their siblings are probably going to have different dads. That's not culture. You're absolutely right. I feel like everything needs to be purged and wiped clean. Yep. And cleaning people, especially in the Black community. We're very set in ways that don't even serve or benefit us. These ways don't serve us, they don't benefit us at all. They don't show us in a good light, and they don't even speak to who we truly are or what we come from. Cuz this is all new shit. It's all new shit, you know. This isn't, like I've said before, from Juneteenth, from June 19, 1865, right? When they say the last few Blacks in Texas found out that they were free. June 19, 1865 to the Tulsa, Oklahoma fires, which was uh, July something, I think, uh, 1920. That was less than 70 years. And the fact that they have built up so much land, so much property, so much ownership, so many businesses, actual businesses, you know what I mean? Actual businesses. The fact that we had amassed so much wealth and property and land in less than 70 years, literally coming out of chains, physically coming out of chains, speaks to the fact that at one point we did work together. They wasn't doing that all on individual get the bag solo efforts. That was Black people working together. That was unity. And then in 100 years, from 1920 to 2020, we have so much less of everything, yet we're the biggest consumers. We are the biggest consumers of liabilities, of shit that has no return. That's insane. That is insane. We've allowed ourselves to be tricked into thinking that black women are better in the home without her husband. We've allowed ourselves to be fooled and be used into thinking that we can live better off the government than to stand by our husband and work with our man, even through all the tribulations that he may go through, losing a job, finding a job. We'd rather shit on him and say he ain't shit, he's worthless. I'd rather go to these white folks and get government assistance. I can raise my kids by myself. Okay, I don't want you in the home because I see this fine man over here and I want to see what his dick feel like. So now, I got 3, 4, 5 baby daddies, 6, 7 baby daddies. And you can see that not just in black people, but them people. Like we don't even care about the very earth that we stand on. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's a fact. We don't. We don't. Right. Right. Wait a minute. Okay. How come it won't let me show this? Yeah, it's unfortunate. And we got used to it quick. We got used to I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's shameful. It's sad. It's unfortunate. I know y'all like the lights that's in here, huh? But that's okay. When I shut down, all y'all flying insects gonna have to get up out of here. I'm just watching them fly around. They like the light. Let me see if that amber light changed things up a little bit. It's unfortunate, but you know what? it's it it hasn't and it doesn't and it won't stop me from because it's just in me. It's in me. The entrepreneur bug has always been in me. Like I've told y'all before, I vowed when I was 14 that I will never work for anybody more than 2 years. I'm going to figure it out for myself. um, and for the last few years I've been working on, okay, now how do I get out from being self employed? Self employment is great, it's fine. That's no problem, it's easy. But how do I get out of that and build a business, right? How do I build a business? I don't want to be self employed. The earth is literally screaming for help. And like we're dying, the world is dying, everything is dying. And yeah, yeah. And it's not a permanent death because the one thing is for sure, that's why God knows best, is humans cannot completely kill the earth. But what we're seeing is the fact that our consumption rate has gotten so extreme. We consume things at rates faster than the earth can naturally replenish them. And that is our overconsumption, our extreme overconsumption. We I was just watching something yesterday and it was talking about the progression of the house size. The size of the house in the 1950s versus the size of the houses now that families still say is too small. And then external storages. The fact that outside storages is a huge business and there's people that have these external storages packed to the goddamn gills. We have an overconsumption problem. you see our actions, how things grow, vegetation grows. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. I'm so inspired by you. I can't wait to start my van life journey. That's what's up. Yeah, I think minimalism is a necessity, and I really feel like minimalism is more natural, and it's also very freeing. When you don't have a lot of excess, you don't have a lot of stress. Really, truly. I mean, it feels good to be free. And like, yeah, but although my everything in my bed will have to be purple because purple makes me happy. Yeah, that's what's up. But it is like being minimal, it's just, it also helps you, it forces you to be more mindful. Being minimal, living in a small space, not even just a van, but even like people that live in tiny houses, um, being minimal, it forces you to be mindful. It also forces you to, if you're not a person that already has a grateful heart, it forces you to be more grateful and to express more gratitude because you don't have the space to overconsume. So you begin to really appreciate what you already have and even find better ways to use what you have. And then it forces you to look at what's important. What do I have that, okay, I don't need this. And then when you're out and about, it really controls the urge to just buy dumb shit for no reason because the first thing you think, do I have space for this? Do I need that? Like, do I need it? Do I need it? Your life becomes less about wants and more about, do I need this? Because if I don't need it, then I'm not about to stress out over trying to find space for it if I don't need it. And it just brings us back to our natural state of being. I think being minimal is a beautiful thing. Yeah, that's just some. And see, I'm definitely the business, but yeah, the Etsy store. And see, here's the thing. I was in here. This was a few weeks ago. Um, but I was saying in here, and I've said it before too, months ago when I was just in here praying with myself about my next partner. And I said, I really want to build a business so that I can crochet as a hobby. I would sell my crochet because I want to sell my crochet. But I don't want the selling of my crochet to be my livelihood. I don't want that. That's not what I want. Even now with putting my Etsy store, that's not going to be my livelihood, which is why I'm have other things that I'm more focused on. But I want to be able to have my income, my businesses stable enough to where I can crochet as a hobby, and sell and put it up there. And if my coats on my Etsy store don't sell for months, it's okay because this money isn't my livelihood. And I had to acknowledge that within myself. Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it. Just what you need and nothing more. Because for real, We don't need a whole lot to live and to be comfortable. Not even just live, but to be comfortable. To be comfortable. And that's another reason why I think people really like seeing my space, because I have it set up so comfortably and so beautifully. Because for me, like, my plants are non-negotiable. My plants are non-negotiable. But a bunch of stuff, I don't like a bunch of stuff. I don't like a bunch of stuff, and I already know that I don't need a bunch of stuff. So even from when I was in the mansion to now, like, I've constantly had to say to people, I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't want that. I don't need that. I don't need that. Like, I don't need a sink. I don't need a sink. I don't want a sink. I don't need a sink. I don't care if it's collapsible. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I absolutely don't need it. I don't need a sink. I don't want a sink. I don't need all these little things that people want to suggest for me. I don't want that. And I don't need it. I legit don't need it. And I also don't want a big a like I definitely you won't catch me in an RV. But I like those, what are they called? The little, I think they're a class B. They're like a van. They look like a van. They're not too big. I like those. But I don't want a space that's has all the things that a traditional home has. I don't want a sink. You know what I mean? Even if I'm in something with standing space, I don't want a sink. I don't ever want a sink. I'm not going to be putting dishes in a sink in a van. I don't want that. That's a waste of space. I could that area I could build out for yarn or seasoning. You know what I mean? Because I do cook inside my vehicle. So, but I don't even want a dedicated stove. I don't want an oven. Yeah, that's cute. Yes, that's cute. But I don't want an oven. I don't want an oven. I'm not driving around a goddamn oven. I don't want an oven. I don't want an oven. You know what I'm saying? I don't want these things. That's space that I can use for things that I actually need. You know what I mean? I don't want an oven. I don't want a sink. I don't want these things. It's just not what I'm into. I really like the minimal, and I like problem solving. I've said that before. I'm a problem solver, and I like problem solving. I like having to figure out, okay, how do I, okay, so I'm going to get a little stool that has storage. Everything's got to have storage. My bed's got so much storage under it now. And since clearing out my passenger seat and being able to put everything under my bed, like being able to use the decorative pillows to store clothing and yarn, and like, I love that. I love that, but I don't need other things. Or idea of light bulb, or how about you like showcase all your talents, not just crochet. Like, I don't want it in here. I don't want it in here. Yeah, I have some of my paintings under my bed. And one day I'll pull them out and show you guys some of my canvases. But I don't, yeah, I don't want it in here. I don't want to see I don't like clutter either. I don't like to see everything full. I don't want to display or showcase. I just, I just, mm-mm, mm-mm. I don't want that. I don't want that. I want one thing that I said when I was in the mansion. Here's what I want. I want my place to look like a jungle. So at some point, I would like to be able to have, like, especially with my pothos and more pothos that I get in philodendron, I want to be able to have place, have it to where they can climb. I want to live in a jungle. I want the inside of my van, and going forward, I just want to see green plants. I would love to have it set up to where my pothos and my philodendron, and I would also get some ivy to where they can climb the ceiling. And so it's just, I want to live in a jungle. That's what I want. I don't, and that's something that I said when I was in the mansion. I want to live in a jungle. I want my place to be covered in plants. I mean, it's quite obvious you're in an RV, but if you're in a van or something, like, it's more stealth, it's more street worthy. Right, right. But yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I'm going for. So at some point, so that also means that, my future partner, if he's a plant daddy, oh man, if he's a plant daddy, that's gonna be perfect. If he's a plant daddy, that will that will touch my heart. If he is an entrepreneur, plant daddy, or at the very least, don't mind that I'm a plant mama and I want to live in a jungle, I would love that, because yes, that's what I want. I want to be able to have my plants, my pothos, at least, if not the whole thing, at least have it to where they can climb. Like I said, I've said that from when I was in the mansion. That's what I want. And you don't necessarily need no, I don't need an oven at all. Do a whole solar cooking thing. You can, yeah, I have I got my propane and my cast iron stove. And I also like, yeah, I definitely don't need, I don't want an oven. I don't want an oven. Mm-mm. And especially considering I'm just a meat eater. I don't need to, I like cooking my meats on my cast iron. I like cooking my meats on my cast iron. I don't need to put them in the oven for anything. But yeah, I definitely don't need an oven, because there's a guy that I've seen. I think his name is Ryan something. He's got an oven. He's got he's got a ProMaster, a Ram ProMaster. Yeah, and he's got an oven and a fridge. Mm-mm. Like damn near like a house fridge. He's got a, yeah. I don't. I got a little cooler on my wish list. A little something like that. You know what I mean? So that I can have a couple of days of meats. But yeah, I don't, even in something bigger, I don't want a fridge. The only thing I want, once I have something that I can stand up in, is I want an indoor shower. And I want to have a big ass water tank underneath it. I want to have a big water tank underneath, at least 100-gallon water tank, so that I can take a decent shower. You know what I mean? So that I can at least take a good 6 or 7 minute shower. So because even if I did that, I would turn the water off. You know what I mean? I wouldn't shower with the water running, but I'd be able to get in there and let the shower. But that's the only thing that I want and that I feel like I need. And I also would like to have an outdoor shower, but I definitely, once I have something that I can stand up in, I need an indoor shower with at least 100-gallon tank. That's awesome, because I also have plants. I have a lot of carnivorous plants. Yes, I thought about that too. I thought about getting a couple of carnivorous plants. Should I? because I have three plants right now that are dead that I got to get rid of in my small pots. My cactus, my Berkey, the philodendron Birkin, and my Pilea, the aluminum plant. It's not doing well. So those three I have to get rid of. Like they're dead. So should I get a carnivorous plant? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Cause I've been I even followed what is it called? California carnivores. They're a plant store. I think they're in Northern California. They have carnivorous plants. When I was at Home Depot, I want to say it's when I bought the Berkey and a couple others. The cashier, she has carnivore plants. I just love the whole chemistry behind carnivorous plants and how they don't rely on nutrients from soil, but rather the food of insects. Yes. Oh man, especially living in a van, right? Because I won't say always, but like now with the light on and I have my doors open, um, there's things that will come in and, a little bit kind of having plants, you have a little things. I don't water from the top anymore, so I don't have fungus gnats. I don't have that problem because I don't water from the top. So none of my soils are wet at the top. So I don't have fungus gnats in here at all. Um, but oh, Brandy, and having carnivorous plants you are good to keep away bugs, and pests and all that stuff. So for a carnivorous plant newbie, what would you suggest my first one be? What would you recommend? I might have to get a carnivorous plant. I might have to because I've actually been thinking about it since I got Le Château. So it's been a year because, like I said, the cashier she had carnivorous plants, and so that's made me start looking into it. And then I followed the the California carnivores on one of my Instagram pages. Yep, and started learning more and seeing more. Like there are some really beautiful and interesting looking carnivorous plants. I was amazed. And then seeing, just following their page and seeing the information about when they go into the dormancy phase, like, don't freak out, they're not dead. Like, oh, okay, so this is good to know. But it's very interesting. Yes, and it's good to you because I'm like you. I like eating, on my wood burning stove. Uh huh. Love yeah. The smoky taste. Yes, yes. Oh man, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Wonderful. Okay, it's wonderful. So let me know. Let me know and I will get one next week. Let me know and I will get one next week. That would be dope. That would be dope. I might have to look into it. I might have to look into it for sure. I think I'm gonna have to look into the carnivorous plant life because we can go for a carnivorous plant in here because the air quality in here is great. It's great in here. It's welcoming. My plants all love each other. They do very well together, and I think that's probably the only thing we're missing. That's probably the only thing we're missing is one a carnivorous buddy or two. Um, pro, you know, it's and I know they're not just for flies, But sometimes flies come in here and have a good time. I might have to include a Venus flytrap too, because sometimes them buggers want to come in here and get the buzzing around. But there are some beautiful carnivorous plants. Let me know. Leave some leave some in the comments, and I'll look them up and look into them, and let me know as a newbie, because I've never had a carnivorous plant before, what you think would be a good first one. I don't even think Home Depot has any. I might have to check out Armstrong. They might. I don't know. Yeah, I might have to check out Armstrong. They might have. And I highly recommend that if you get any type of carnivorous plants, the best ones to start with pitcher plants. Okay, they grow annually. I've never heard of pitcher plant. Okay, I'm gonna look them up. I'm gonna look them up. They're good pitcher plants. They're the easiest to take care of. Okay, all right. I'm gonna check it out. I wonder what they. I'm excited to see what they look like. Reason being because certain carnivorous plants have to endure on dormancy periods every year to regenerate. Pitcher plants on main ones, okay, are the main ones that don't have to go into dormancy as much. Oh, okay. Okay. Good to know. At the most, a few pitchers, okay, might shrivel up, but all you can do is clip them off, but they still produce pitchers and you can just keep them moist. Okay. Okay. That is so interesting. That is so interesting. I'm excited to look them up. I'm definitely going to look them up and see what they look like. Uh-huh. And then I'm going to check that page, California Carnivores. I'm going to check that page and see if they have any on there. Mhm. See if I can find one. Another thing I want that I really got to find space for in here, I want to get my worms back. I want to get my worms back so that I can start back harvesting my own worm castings. I miss having my worm bin. Yeah, I really, really do. Because it was just it was just nice having worms. And then, I could put some of my food scraps in there, pitcher plants, because they're the easiest to take care of. Yeah, I'm for it. I'm for it. I'm for it. Probably when I figure out the next thing I do back there, I think that'll be the time I'll be able to make space for another worm bin. Yep. Once I figure out what I'm going to do with my brown bin, or when I'm able to build something over there, um, then I'll be able to build in a spot for my worm bin, because I really miss having my worms and I really love having my worms. So that's going to be after all of my build out is done. Well, for now, for, for the most part, that'll be the next phase. Once that's done, for the most part, then I'll be able to get my worm bin, because I definitely have enough space. I have enough space back here to have my worms. I wish I can give you my email address so that way I can show you pictures. My email is on my homepage. Yep, email me and I can be able to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My email is on my homepage. And I don't know if you're on Instagram, but my Instagram is the same name as this page, My Creative Nomad Life. But my email, definitely email me. It's on my homepage, the about page or whatever it is, on YouTube. I have my email on there in the description or whatever it's called. For sure, for sure. It's right there. It is right there. Mhm. Cuz I would love to see pictures. I would love to see pictures and to know how long you had them. Yeah, so I can know what to expect. So I can know what to expect. My 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 snake plant that Anna gave me, it's growing. I did resoil it. It's growing, and there's a new leaf coming in there. You can't see it because it's dark, but there's a new leaf coming in, and it's growing. Like these leaves are getting so tall. Yeah, it's growing nicely. Everybody's growing nicely. Everybody. I always show you guys this one because it's so beautiful. And it's got two new leaves coming in. One is right there. Can you see it? Yeah, right there. And then the other one is on this one right here. Right there. Yep. So this baby is growing really nicely. So beautiful. It's so beautiful. Yeah, everybody is doing so good. And I can't even express how glad I am that I was able to no, well, that I was able to get it because they had it, right? I am so happy that the 99-cent only store had this philodendron. Well, I don't know. Somebody said it's not a philodendron, but it's a Rhaphidophora decursiva. And I'm so glad that 99-cent store had it because they've gone out of business now. But look at how beautiful this baby is. This is the newest leaf right here. It's so beautiful and it's just so tropical looking. I love it. I love it so much. I love this. And it looks like there's another leaf coming in. I'm pretty sure that's another leaf coming in right there, right at the end of this one that just came in. So I'm so glad they had this. I'm so glad they had this. Yeah, that's another leaf. Yep, that's another leaf for sure. It's not even no think about it. That is another leaf coming in. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. This is so beautiful. So beautiful. I'm telling you, Bill, the guy that stopped by here earlier, he just kept peeking in here because, guys, it is so cute in here. It is so cute in here. And here's the thing. Let me tell y'all. Let me share something with y'all. So if you were on here when Bill came by and he was like, "You okay? You okay? You need anything? You doing okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm good." And so sometimes I feel like I'm not sure if I should I don't want to overemphasize that I'm excellent, but I also don't want to downplay that I'm excellent. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to devalue the human concern that's coming my way, but I also don't want to take advantage because I'm not destitute and I'm not homeless. Do you know what I mean? So it's a tough it's a balancing act that I feel like I really walk finely because it's just that balance of appreciating, accepting, and being grateful for the human kindness that's coming my way, while also really just trying to relay my confidence in the fact that I'm not homeless or destitute. You get what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense, but feed me, Seymour. I'm like poison ivy in the flesh. Okay. Oh, I missed a lot. Oh, sundew. Okay, sundew plants. I think I saw them. Also good too as well. But they have to be in high humid. Okay, yeah, I don't have high humidity. Well, I'm in California now. I'm not in high humidity. Okay. And the cool thing, where am I? Uh-oh. And the cool thing about sundews is they like snake plants and they have a lot of tentacles and but they don't wait, wait, it can't eat my snake plant. What you mean? I don't want it to eat my snake plant. Oh, no, no, no. As soon as it's come in contact with one, the tentacle curls up onto itself and it latches onto the bug and covers the digest inside, liquefies them. That's what make carnivorous plants good because their digestive enzymes. Uh huh. Yeah. Yeah. And on a pH scale, they're more acidic. Oh, okay. But back to what you said about they like snake plants. No, I don't want it. So it can't be near my snake plant then. Is that what you said? Because I don't want it to eat my snake plant. No, 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 no. I want my snake plant to grow. But I believe they had the sundews on that California carnivores. I believe California carnivores has that. That sounds familiar. That sounds really familiar. But no, baby, it cannot eat my snake plant. Look, I'm still stuck on that. I'm still stuck there, okay? It cannot eat my snake plant. It's going to have to be somewhere not around my snake plant because I don't want it curling up eating on my snake plant. We not doing that. We are not playing that game. And you said Venus flytraps are easy as well? And see, yeah, check my email so you can email me because I want to see what them picture plants look like. Because I would like to have a carnivorous plant that, is interesting looking. Yeah, I would like to have one that looks interesting, but one that does not like any other plants. Because I don't, because the thing about it is, too, I don't know. Let me think about this because at night, yeah, maybe I won't. because at night I put spider. I put spider on top of my thing right here, and you see how spider is, right? So it leans on all the other ones. Yeah, maybe I can't have a carnivorous plant because I don't think I have the space. I don't think I have the space for it. I think I have too many mature plants, and where they have to be at night. Yeah, so maybe just 86 that idea. I might just have to 86 that idea. Yeah, because this my spider right here, it yeah, when I put it up there at night, when I put my plants there at night, um, spider, you know, leans on everybody. Spider leans on everybody when I put it there at night. So I might not I might not be able to do that. I might not be able to do that. Okay, cool, cool, cool. That'll work. Yeah, I might not be able to do that. We might not have to go with that. Your plants are beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. They are very happy. They are very happy. They love it here. My plants love being van lifers. And look at this one. That's my golden pothos and my sangonium. They love being plant lifers. Oh, yes. I absolutely love talking to my plants. Yeah, they love it. Like they are so grown, so beautiful. They really, really love being van lifers. They do. And they love, especially my smaller plants over here, they love being back here now. They love being back here now because the temperature is so much better back here than when they were just stuck in my front seat. Um, because like during the day it's so much hotter up there, but they love it. My plants love being van lifers. They do, especially when we're traveling. You know, like right now with me, you know, getting my businesses off the ground and things like that. We're a lot more stationary, but they love moving around. They really love when we're by the ocean, and it's just they love being van lifers. They love it. They love it. They love it. They are so pretty and green. I know, aren't they? Aren't they? They are. They are. They're doing so well. All of them are doing so well. And I'm telling you, since my butterfly, since my pink sangonium has been back here, she has just been growing, 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 growing. She has grown so much. I'm telling you, like these two new leaves just came out. And before that, two new leaves had just come out. Like now, there's two more new leaves coming out. I'm pretty sure when these new leaves are fully unfurled, two more are going to come out. Yeah, they like it in here. We all like it in here. We love it in here. We love it in here. And the more upgrades I get, it's just the better everything is. Especially as I as my build comes together more, it just makes it more spacious. You know, I like my picture plant. It's a female because she actually has sprouted another tiny pitcher plant. Oh, female pitcher plants can sprout other pitcher plants as well that sprout off from her. Oh, nice. like with my spider plant. So it's two big plants. It was four because I had her in a long planter when I was in the mansion. So now it was two plants, but they shoot out the baby spiders. And what I do, I put them back down into the soil so that they can root themselves. So I think I have three of them that are rooted that, now they're kind of long. So that's what I do. Yeah, I put them into the soil, let them root themselves in the soil so that it fills out the pot more. And that's why it looks so full because of the, I think, three smaller babies that have now rooted themselves. I still have them attached to the mother, like I haven't cut the stem just because they're not fully grown. So I feel like they still need to get some of the nutrients. I don't know, maybe they don't, I don't know. But it doesn't, maybe at some point I should cut the stem because they are rooted. They are rooted now. They're not they're rooted. They're in there. So maybe I should. But we'll see. Yeah. I love my plants. Like I said, my plants are a non-negotiable. Absolute non-negotiable. Gotta have my plants. I'm gonna have my plants. The only time I was not able to have plants was when I was married because my ex-husband's energy was so awful. Everything I brought in died. Everything I brought in died. Yep. I was like, this is crazy. Everything, no matter what it was. I even bought a fucking tree. They had a tree at Target. It was $15. It died. Low light, everything. Boy, that energy was terrible. That energy was terrible. Anyway, y'all, I'm going to get up off here. Thanks for hanging out and rocking with me. I appreciate it. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all check the links in the description. You know your girl got some journals. Check out the journals. Subscribe if you are not subscribed. Thanks for hanging out with me, allowing me to share some of my business ideas with you. I see you, Brandy. It's funny you said that. Oh my God. That's how my ex-boyfriend was. His energy was so bad that my baby pitcher plant was not sprouting no pitchers. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, that's real. That is very, 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 very real. Yeah, everything died. I bought a bamboo and I ended up giving that to one of my girlfriends. I was like, here, take this because I don't want to see this die. I've never seen a dead bamboo. I don't want to see it. Take it, take it. And then I didn't get anything else after that. Shortly after that, we was divorced. And yeah, yeah. So you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, y'all, happy winning as Wednesday. Y'all have a good night. Tomorrow is the first day of my gig. So I'm gonna keep y'all updated and y'all gonna watch me do this thing and I'll holler at y'all later. I'll see you in the comments. I'm gonna check your email, Brandy. Again, don't forget to check all the links in the description. Subscribe if you are not subscribed, and I will see you later. Don't forget every Friday we have the Friday Night Live, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. So I'll see you then. Peace, y'all.